All right, y'all give praise, esteem, and honor to the Father in heaven in the name of out this day. John chapter 5, verse 39. I search the scripture. For in them you think you have eternal life. And they was testified of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. Some of my Abba's name you receive me not. Another shall in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Songs of Solomon, chapter 8. Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 11. What's going on, Brother Francis?
Okay, wait.
Solomon had a vineyard at Bel Hamon. What does Bel Hamon mean? 1 foot. 1 foot. We'll hop along. Bel Hamon. What that mean, baby? You know? I done said it 2 days in a row. What you asking him for? You ain't gonna be able to ask him nothing on the day of the Lord, baby. We're gonna move on from you because you don't know the answer. What Michael asked? You trying to hide? Huh? I mean you wasn't paying attention. What did Bel Hamon mean then? But what did Bel Hamon mean then? Why you don't know what it means? We just did it last night and the day before. What's going on, my G? Brandon, you know what Bel Hamon mean? That's a crying shame. Oh, you wasn't on there. You ain't hear this. You wasn't listening. Darius, you could tell him what Bel Hamon mean? The Lord of abundance. How you forgot that fast, Michael? You was in the house sleep, wasn't you? You tell the truth and saying the devil. Huh? Still missing, huh? You just thought that made it better. You just dig a bigger hole. Huh? So Solomon had a vineyard at Bel Hamon. He let out the vineyard unto keepers. Every one for the fruit thereof was to bring 1,000 pieces of silver. My vineyard, which is mine, is before me. You, O Solomon, must have 1,000. Those that keep the fruit thereof, 200. You that dwell in the garden, the companies, the companions hearken to your voice. Cause me to hear it. Make haste, my beloved. Be you like a roe or a young hart upon the mountain of spices. Let me take a look at something, man. Come over here to Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, real quick, like. Dude, you can pick it up at verse 1 on Shalom, man, on general principle. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine. Because of the Savior of your good ointment, your name is as ointment poured forth. Therefore, do the virgins love you? We've talked about this before. Who recalls? Hey, night. Who recalls? Verses 2 and 3. Huh? You know what it means? You shaking your legs. You all right? You nervous? Well, let's deal with verse. Kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Your love is better than wine.
Songs 2.
They talking about literal kisses. Huh? That's some of your. That wasn't your favorite. That was your favorite song growing up. What? Tender kisses. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about. Songs of Solomon 1 and 2.
No.
Oh, I ain't even hear what you said. Oh, the wine part, yes.
You got kiss and
The wine part, because that's Judas that kissed. So we don't want to count him, because he ain't nobody.
You said the wine part.
Okay.
It's the woman saying that the kisses of the man, that's who kissed her. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, because his love is better than wine. I give you the characters for kiss. The word is Nashaka, Noon, Shan, Yad, Kuf, and Hey. Shalom, man. Hey, time. Noon, Shan, Yad, Kuf, and Hey.
Oh, is it when that woman she was kissing the bushes?
No. It going too far. It's not a literal somebody kissing it. Yeah, because that first word for kiss means to be joined together or fully equipped. So when you're looking at the kisses or the mouth, you're talking about his word. But it lets you know that it's dealing with the Passover part because it said the love is better than wine. Wine is representative of his blood, as he's already stated. But the kisses is representative of the word. Not necessarily looking for somebody to actually have kissed someone. Because, put it to you this way. What does Paul tell you to greet somebody with? He tells you to greet somebody with son. Shalom, Brother Craig. Yeah, he did. Say greet him with a holy kiss. How many of y'all familiar of that of which we speak?
I don't remember the chapter and verse.
Come on over here to Romans chapter 16. Romans 16 and probably about 12. Romans 16 and 12. Salute Tryphena and Tryphosa, who labor in the Lord. Salute the beloved Persistus, which labored much in the Lord. Salute Rufus, chosen in the Lord, and his mother and mine. Salute Ancrictus and Philegon and Hermas and Petrobus and Hermes and the brethren which are with them. Salute Philologus and Julia, Nerissus and his sister, Olympus and all the saints which are with them. Salute one another with a Kadash kiss. The churches of Mashiach salute you. Now, since we're talking about, he's telling you to greet one another with a set apart kiss. I would like for you to turn around. I want you to come over here to Proverbs chapter 24. I want you to come to Proverbs chapter 24. You can pick it up at verse 23. These things also belong to the wise. It's not good to have respect of persons in judgment. That is already detailed in in the Epistle of James about not having respect of persons. But why should you not have respect of persons? Because Yahuwah doesn't. It's in your law. He does not have respect of persons. This is the point of why you don't believe anyone, irregardless to who they are, off their own witness and testimony. There has to be more than one witness or evidence of it, or you're having respect of persons. One of the flaws in the world tell you is believe your husband over anybody, believe your wife, believe your kids, believe your homeboys, your family, and that is not the way Yahuwah. He don't care who you are. You don't have respect of persons. You don't have respect. I'm gonna believe what my man say versus what the truth is. No. You'll find yourself in hell. How do we know that? Because the law told you if you caught your mama or your husband around here serving other gods, you're supposed to be the what? The first one put a stone upside their head. I mean, you couldn't have no respect of persons. See, people have respect of persons. You're taught that. That teaches you bad judgment. That teaches you to get your soul cut off. And it doesn't teach you to slow down and assess what is going on. This is another an example of what I was talking about last night. The things that they put out there that don't seem to be wrong on the surface, but will have you separated from your Elohim because you're not walking according to his will. Would you have a natural inclination to believe your husband or your wife or your kids? Yes, you would. But that don't mean that they right. And you would have to be able to look them in the face and determine that they were wrong, even if that's somebody who's close and near to you. Because if you don't, you just broke the law and you're going to hell. Just that simple for having respect to person. Because the example in James' epistle is don't have respect to persons in regard to the rich or the poor. Because that's what a lot of people like to do. A lot of people like to have respect to persons for people who have money. Case in point, example, I mentioned y'all before the camera come on. They had that article with Russell Wilson and GQ where they was like, oh, what was the prayer that Sierra prayed so other women could pray? But the sad part is that her prayers are not heard. Let's just deal with that first and foremost. Her prayers are not even heard. She's not a servant of Elohim. We know that from her music videos. You know what I'm saying? You know that from her song. She's not a servant of Elohim. You know that from the fact that she wears a dog wig on her scalp everywhere she goes. You know that from the fact that it's just what it is. You know what I'm talking about? But it was something that she said in that article that lets you know that she's not a servant of Elohim. She says, I love to let my husband lead. Anytime you hear that that is a telltale sign of a woman who does not respect the authority of a man. Because no woman who is submissive will ever open her mouth and say she will let a man do anything, because that man would have demanded that from the minute he walked through the door. Do you know what I'm talking about? It wouldn't be no, oh, my wife let me leave, or I let this. There's no let in it. She knows that that is what is going to happen, or she can depart. When you hear that, there's just a subtle hint of, I tolerate this man because what I can get from him. Because he turned around and violated one of the tenets of verse 31 and said his greatest fear in life was losing his wife. That is idolatry, because that is emotional attachment. That means you have put that woman in a position and place of where she should not be. And all it would take for you to curse you who is vain is for him to take that from you. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's what the example you're supposed to learn from Job. When Job lost all of that, what did his wife say? Curse Elohim and die. He said, you talking like the foolish women talk. Say Elohim give, Elohim take away. That means he did not have an attachment to his kids or anything else that he had. When you hear somebody say the greatest fear that they have is losing someone, they are borderline participating in idolatry. You have placed a human being in a position that they do not deserve to be, because he has told you that all things return to the dust from whence they came. Your wife, your kids, your husband, your mama, your daddy, whoever, they're not yours. They don't belong to you. They are here for a finite amount of time. One day they're going to be here, and the next day they are going to be gone, and you never know when that day is going to come. So the only thing you can do is make sure that your soul is prepared for that day when it comes, that you might meet your Elohim in peace. That day you got to go stand before that throne. And if anybody doubted that Russell Wilson was a simp, that statement let you know wholeheartedly that that man is a simp. Because if you hear any man say my greatest fear in life, and the worst part how the article was framed, she said losing as forth as a football game, and he said no, losing you, nigga, you gay. You know what I'm saying? Not gay as homosexual, but gay as lame, square, a sucker. You know, you can love your wife. You're supposed to do that, but you can't walk around here telling me I don't want to lose you. Because now you're in a position of inferiority. You have automatically told this woman that her position in your life is greater than your own. She can never respect you. I've seen a woman say, get you a man that loves you more than you love him. That's a lie. Don't no woman want no man love her more than she love him. That means you adore and respect her entirely too much. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. There's only one type of situation like that. Of course, you can never meet the love that Elohim showed to you. You know what I'm saying? You could come close to it if you're willing to die for the word, but you ain't got that level of love because you wouldn't do the same thing for him. See, this is the ugly part when he talking about fearing losing you. She don't fear losing you because she feel like she go get another dude. You know what I'm talking about? She don't fear losing you, but you around here fearing losing her, and you Russell Wilson, nigga. But you got $150 million contract. This woman can be replaced. Nigga, this woman's not even that beautiful. And she old. And she old. And you were a woman who was once accused of being a man, whether rightfully or wrongfully, but it was there. And what I didn't know she was a hoe. I can't. Well, nah, those are short-term relationships, so that's home. I mean, shoot, I ain't gonna lie to you. I done told you this before. Once you've been over 2 men, you are officially a whore. You know what I'm saying? It's for 2.
Oh, okay.
You smile, oh, okay. I ain't no hoe. She said, I'm 1.5. Say, what? I'm gonna tell you in the word say, word-wise, I'm talking about according to Yahuwah standard. Max, a woman should have been with 2 men in her life unless she just had some bad luck with her husband dying. Yeah. But truth be told, this man's supposed to got you fresh off the showroom floor, no miles on the odometer. You know what I'm talking about? Nothing. You the only man that you would have ever been with unless he died. Because after you get over 2, word-wise, you are a whore. You know what I'm talking about? And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know what I'm talking about? And then you see women out here talking about it don't matter. You're a whore. You can't come at me telling me I should treat a pre-owned vehicle like a brand new Lexus. Are you serious? I would hope so. Now that ain't saying that to be harsh or rough, but I'm just telling you that is the disintegration of where society has gotten from one point of time into another. To the point that you telling men to accept whores. Like you got niggas like, why should Russell Wilson be proud to be married to an ex-whore? And you're scared to lose a whore. That don't even make no sense. Boy, Yahuwah wasn't scared to lose no whore. He said, get that whore out of here. Now, I'm not telling you to around here tell every woman to tell you what's on her cat packs, on the badger packs. That's your business. You can deal with it, you deal with it. You can't deal with it, move on. You know what I'm talking about? Because you already know, ain't too many. That's when you have a lot of young women, they get triggered. Like I told you last night, they get triggered. How many women you deflower? What difference does it make? How many niggas you let plow your backyard? How many niggas resodded you? Straight up and down. You want to try to see that's the oh, how many women you done had sex with? What difference does it make, baby? I can only I got to put in work to get it. All you got to do is just say, come here. So whose exploits are worse? You ain't got to put in forth no effort. Every woman on this earth can literally walk past a man, want sex. But am I lying though? If that's what you want to do, shoot, this hoes out here doing it. Want some vagina? I don't even know you, but do you want it though? Well, since you offered. And then you coming to a man later on in life and saying that he should value you and respect you, and you've been with more men than the years you've been alive. You looking crazy like you don't know. I guarantee you got 3-4 friends that done been with more men than they done been alive. You ain't got it though. But he said, you know you do. If you got a friend who's 27, I guarantee you she done been with 45 men. It don't take that much. If they'd have been in a lot of relationships, random dudes, then you got to understand. See, one thing y'all like to do is y'all not going to tell your homegirls every nigga you let bang you up. You only going to tell the parts that make you look good. You ain't going to talk about the time you went to the bar and got a little tipsy, went home with a dude and the meat was trash. You keep it to yourself. Yeah, that's what I done heard women say condom sex don't count. What Jesse Lee say, slut maker? That boy said, what do you call a slut maker? That's for real though. I'm telling you, boy, I went to school with some boy, big numbers. 4 high school was over with, big numbers. What's off limits for you, baby?
Oh, nothing. I don't know.
You do though. You just don't want to put your friends on blast, and you a good friend for that. Cause we don't know them people, but you know they slores.
Hey, when I work in with this White House, it was a lady she worked up point. She did her friend had she moves me for my home. Like, wow,
That's masculine. That's masculine. I have.
On the most guys, yeah, I'm like,
That's masculine.
That's not like me.
That's masculine. That's real masculine. That's masculine. Yeah, that's masculine. Come on, 24 and 24. That's real. That's sad. There's a lot of girls do it. Y'all went to college. Y'all act like y'all don't know. And y'all was at a black college, so you know it was bad. So you know. See, some of them kept it in their brain.
No, they had a list. They had a list of like of guys that they heard and well endowed. They did a list, and it was like, oh, if you talk to her, I didn't know about the list. I knew about it. But I mean, I didn't know right the list, but I knew about the list.
Clearly, you know. You telling us about it.
I mean, it was girls, guys, girls.
So that lets you know that your friends were whores, because that's whore talk. To keep a list, girl, he got a big slog. Young freaks. Where was your daddy's at? Clearly, all sleep somewhere. Sleep somewhere. See, but that's my point. Is that the system's fault? Is that the system's fault? That 14, 15, 16-year-old black girl walking around here talking about, I heard Ray Ray got a big piece. Better go get you some. You know what I'm saying? Guess what happened? Now you pregnant with Ray Ray's son. And Ray Ray locked up. Ain't worth a darn. You know what I'm talking about? Because you wanted that broke nigga penis. You know what I'm saying? Or that street nigga penis is dangerous. We get into all types of squabbles and adventures. Shalom, man. Straight up. Straight up. You know what I'm talking about? I just seen a lady on there. He asked her what would she give up to get a man. She told me, I'll give up great sex. That nigga say, well, shoot, you should. That nigga say, you 50-year-old man, ain't nobody got time to be frolicking in no bed with you for no 2-3 hours. It's not on that. This woman's 39 years old. But his point is just talking about is you dealing with niggas old getting money and you around here want to have sex in the city sex, man. Ain't nobody got time to be fooled up with you. That nigga say like Clay Thomas said he gonna give you 5 minutes. Wow. But at the end of the day, that's the point. So that's what women look at it. You want a nigga to do this, that, and the third. What he getting from you? Because he the one gonna be doing all that work for them 2 hours. And he get up and like this, then he got to get up and go to work for 15 hours while you stay to the house, waiting for him to come back and serve you again. Yeah, you looking crazy because you at the house. He got to go back out there and keep his money for this house that you staying in. And you want this nigga to take 2-3 hours out of his long day to come serve you. And what is he getting in return? Listen, you got to make me orgasm. Your orgasm don't even count. Don't no babies come from your orgasm. 24 and 24. He said unto the wicked, you are righteous. Him shall the people curse, nations shall abhor him. What is that? He that saith unto the wicked, you are righteous. He said, these things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. You can go with that. That's the people. Let's keep on rolling. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon him. Now you look at Paula. I ain't got to do this. This is a good man. But listen to this one here, right? Every man shall kiss his lips that give a right answer. That's what we came over here for. You have nashak, right? Now when you have give, it is shub. Y'all remember what shub mean, don't you? You know what shub mean? No? Well, you slacking on your Maggie. You ain't tight with your pimples, huh? Shub. Tighten up on your pimples. Who know what shub mean? return or to come back. So guess what? This is what it say, right? Every kiss, or when you look at it, put together, to kiss, to touch gently. Every kiss of the lips, because that's safag and that is lips. Safag, that is lips, will return nakoah, or a straight, right, straightness, equitable, correct, integrity, plain. You got noon, ka, and ka, and you can proceed. Noon, ka, and ka. So for right. So clearly the first thing you're going to ascertain from right is you have a seed of life. There's eternal life contained in whatever is correct. That's for right. Every man who's kissed with his lips will come back with the right answer. This is going back to the kisses and Songs of Solomon. So when we're looking at kissing, you're looking at two people who are meeting together. We're going to meet together with this word, so to speak. That's why his love is better than wine. Because the wine is symbolic of the what? Of the covenant. And the covenant is simply but the words on the 2 tables of stone that went from the stones to where? The covenant went to be written on 2 tables of stones, written where? On fleshly tables of the heart. You got to be able to, because if you, every man who done kissed or every man who done became a God with it is going to be able to return a right answer. And the word for answer is debar, which is a right word. Who was that? Is that little Joe? Did you just cuss at me? Nigga, what? What you say, bro? To be subdued and separated under everlasting life. You sit back and look at, you take that, right? Because you can see that the seed was subdued and separated, or the fact that Yahushua was subdued or sacrificed, which leads to a separation, which is the right answer. Why is that the right answer? Because that's what the Father has ordained, which takes us back to what's in Songs of Solomon. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. His love is better than wine, because if he's kissing you with the kisses of his mouth, then he's kissing you with the word. He's kissing you with the word. So again, when you look at that Proverbs 24 and 26, so that's what we came here for. Every man shall kiss his lips that give a right answer. So every man that returns back the proper word is going to become one with him. Let's look at the example of that in Acts chapter 18. Hey, little Joe. He said, I don't respect mom, bro. 18 and 24. Boom, you respect that tackle. You were mad with me last week. I just said, that nigga struck me. 18 and 24. He thought I was playing with him, too. Falling out of the flow. You can catch another one, too. You think making cute faces gonna get you out of it. I promise it ain't. 18 and 24. And a certain Yahudim named Apollos, born at Alexandria, an eloquent man, mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesians. This man was instructed in the way of the Lord, being fervent in the Ruach, and he spake and taught diligently the things of the Lord, knowing only the baptism of John. He began to speak boldly in the synagogue, whom when Aquila and Priscilla had heard, they took him unto them and expounded unto him the way of Elohim more perfectly. I'm going to tell you that them is in italics, so I guess you know what that means. That means it wasn't there. So it didn't say that he took them unto them. That means that he came and hollered at her husband. See, they slid that them in there to make you think that one, that's what a lot of women are coming to see. Priscilla, she taught him too, but that them is not there. It is not there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no, if you a man and you need your wife to help you explain the word to somebody, you need to reassess yourself. Because you shouldn't need no woman's assistance or manifesting nothing that Yahuwah done gave you or a man of Yahuwah gave you. If you need your wife to help guide you along in the path, son, you are not equipped. As simple as that. Let's roll. And he began to speak, and we already read that there, and expounded unto them the way of Elohim more perfectly. And when he was disposed to pass into Achaia, brethren wrote, exhorting the disciples to receive him, who when he was come, helped them much, which had believed through grace. For he mightily convinced the Yahudim that publicly showing by the scriptures that Yahushua was the anointed one. So what you see is this man gave a right answer, and he was able to give a kiss to this individual because he returned correct answers. See, when you look at that on a case in point, or when they would come to Yahushua and ask him things, and he would return correct answers. That's why it's good that for give that shoe was there. You understand what I'm saying? Let me read that again because I ain't saying it properly. It says that every man shall kiss his lips that give a right answer, and that give is shoe. So every man is going to be able to kiss the language of speech, or be joined to the language of speech of an individual who gives or returns right, correct, integrity-based responses. See, this is my point. What I'm talking about, I was telling you last night. Most individuals, see, Apollos is a good example. So praise the Lamb that we even looked at Apollos. Most individuals, when it comes down to the word, all they can do is recite back to you information for the purpose of wowing other men. But very few people are going to return the right answer that righteousness might be exalted. And see, you can memorize and study and read all you want, but if you don't believe it and you don't apply it, you'll just be able to regurgitate answers. But when somebody, it's case in point, if you say somebody like that situation with Solomon or them two kids, or when the scribes would always come tempting Yahushua with questions, which is a better example to be told, the wisdom of knowing the word and apply it. What do you used to always say to the people when they would come silent?
You don't know the scriptures.
No. That's the difference. Every time the people would come silent, he would lead off with a particular answer every time. Oh, no.
You don't believe?
He say, "Why tempt you?"
pt3?
No. When they would ask him a question, he would say, because what y'all saying is responses to whatever he asked them. When they asked him a question and he knew they were sizing him, he would say, "Why tempt you me?" When they came to him with them doggone coins with Caesar superscription, what did he say? "Why are you tempting me?" Every time the people would come ask, because he already know what they're doing. How would he know what they were doing? Because he's already been applying the word, so he can discern between good and evil to be able to give and return a right answer, a correct and upright answer. When you don't use the word, you won't even be able to know somebody sizing you to try to get you to say something so they can have room to blaspheme. You ain't even gonna peep it. I can remember years ago, somebody came to me like this here. "So you okay with him sending a bear to kill 42 kids? I already know you tempted me. I already know what you're doing. So I already know how to respond to you." I say, absolutely, I agree with it. Yet you would be praised. All them children should have learned some manner of respect to hold their peace versus mocking some grown man. Because you don't want to talk about that. You want me to feel sorry for some kids who have the audacity to disrespect a grown man. Which is some of y'all see what Kevin Sand be talking about, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. This is a 50-year-old man, and you got women in their 20s talk to this nigga like he's their peer and have no problem with that. That's a failure from your parents, that you can look at a man who's older than you and talk to him like he's your friend. You know what I'm saying? That you don't even have that level of respect to give that man his respect. See, you're not anybody's peer unless you're in about a 5 to 7 year age range, top or bottom. Once you go 10 years or above, that person is not your peer. See, if you 28 and that boy 18, that 18-year-old boy is not your peer. So he's supposed to look at you with some level of respect. You're older than him. See, we have lost that in our community. You don't look at people older than you as someone who is worthy of respect. You look at him as if he is your equal. Then what you see from all younger people, they get shocked when older people are like, "Young nigga, what is you doing? Who are you talking to? What is your problem?" Taking that this old person did when you were disrespected. Nigga, what? That's how they was raised. So you already got it in your mind that you could disrespect this person. Which tells me if you ain't gonna respect no old person, you don't even respect your parents. You know what I'm saying? And that junk ain't cool. You wonder, and that's it. That's why that news conference I put in there, that's why you had two 13-year-old boys and a 14-year-old boy and a 15-year-old boy go try to break into a gun store and strong and rob a 77-year-old woman. And niggas will blame that on the white man. I ain't blaming that on no white man, nigga. Your mama and daddy are failures, nigga. If your 13-year-old son around here breaking into gun stores, nigga, you have failed your children. That was them. That was the two young boys they locked up for robbing the gun store. And you know why they got caught? Because them stupid niggas left their backpack and cell phone in the gun store and had to go back and get it. Indeed. The same thing I told you about that murder around there in Washington Heights. They had a 14-year-old girl driving that car. 17-year-old boy, the older person in the car was 18. And when the police allegedly said that when they pulled them over, everybody said, we ain't shoot them people. Allegedly, that's what the police said, because the police said they had somebody pulled over already by Washington Heights, heard the gunshots, let Buddy slide who they had pulled over to rush towards the gunshots and seen them driving up out of there driving crazy. A 14-year-old girl who was driving the car. So they went on about a 3-mile chase, got them, found pistols in the car, and allegedly, because we weren't there, so according to the police, they say we didn't murder those people. They killed 3 people, a 27-year-old, 2 30-year-olds, ain't get no money, no dope, no nothing. All the money and dope was in the house. You know what I'm saying? Now your life is gone, and we'll blame that on the white supremacy system. No, I gotta blame that on your parents, yo. Because how's your 14-year-old child out at 11 o'clock at night being a getaway driver to a triple homicide? You know what I'm saying? That's the parents' fault. Can't put that. See, that's the thing though, and that's a feminine way of thinking. The minute something goes wrong and you look to blame somebody else, you are no longer a man. Go get you some maxi pads. Make sure you sit down in the toilet and pee every night. Because men don't blame nobody else for the failures and pitfalls of their own households and communities. That is not what men do. You looking for somebody to blame, you're not a man. Men don't do that. It's just not what you do. How is blaming somebody else for your problems gonna fix it? Is that gonna work? And why do I say that? Because who do people like to blame for sin? What does the word say about that? Yeah, say blessed is he that endure temptation, for every man who is tempted and enticed is drawn away by his own lust, not the devil's lust. What can the devil do? What power does Satan have to do? Satan only got power to do 2 things. I give him 3. Who can tell me what those 3 things are that you can see scripturally that Satan has the ability to do? What you got? Deceive is probably number 1 on the list. Like he can lie now. To tempt, and that's not, and that's right behind it. He got 1 more, and he can only do that by permission. And that's by permission, because you seen that with Job. He could not torment or do anything to Job without permission. So that's all he can do. All he can do is he can deceive. And if you get deceived, what are you getting deceived by? You have book for that. Your own lust. Because Ahab got deceived because Ahab wanted to believe a lie. So he let him. He put a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets so that Ahab could believe what he already wanted to believe, which was a lie. You know what I'm talking about? Of course, you know the tempt part because you see that he tempted the Lord. He tempted David. And then, of course, the kill, the destroy, the tormenting part. He did that to Job. That's the only power that he has. So if you do something now, you can't blame Satan. Satan didn't have anything to do with that. That's you Satan. Nigga. You're the adversary against yourself. Which in reality, and of course he don't teach no word. If Kevin Samuels teaching the word, that nigga already be dead. Because the reason why I say that is because he's using a tenet that the word has to do, and he says it all the time. He holds up a mirror. Because when you teach the word, all you're doing is holding up a mirror. The individual is seeing a reflection of themselves. And you're not telling me that comforting lie that I want to hear. See, the only difference why people are not that enraged Is because he didn't talk about getting married. But I'm just talking about the template of how he conducts himself, which is why you couldn't be on no mass scale like that anyway. You'll be dead within 3 weeks. If you were permitted, because these people will kill you. Because you can't get on no mass scale and be holding up no mirror to the whole world, showing how wicked and unbelieving they are, and think people just gonna be ho-hum about it. I don't like that nigga China. I ain't gonna look at it. No, these people gonna find you and they gonna kill you. They gonna find you, they gonna kill you. And Yahushua is proof positive of that. If you're not familiar with what's written in the book of Amos, it says that they hated him, that rebuke in the gate, and that's why they're not going to be able to give a kiss to this man, because they're not going to return the right answer, because they do not deem his love better than wine. See, let's go back to wine real quick in Judges chapter 9. 9 and 7. Boy, ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Yeah, that's how you sound. That's how you sound. Yeah, that's how you sound. You're lying. Now have some respect. Hush your mouth. Judges 9 and 7. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood up in the Mount Gerizim and lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, hearken unto me, you men of Shechem, that Elohim may hearken to you. Now you should remember this. Yahushua said something similar, did he not? That if you listen to him, the Father would listen to what you pray for. See, again, this is another example of stuff that's contained, and if you know the word, it is right there. People think, Yahoo, who he say, I got to pray to him to get my prayers heard? Yes, you do, sir. Yes, you do. Why would anyone listen to you? Why would the living Elohim want to talk to you? For sure. Let's roll with it. The trees went forth on the time to anoint a king over them, and they said unto the olive tree, reign over us. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness wherewith by me they honor Elohim and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? The tree said to the fig tree, come, you reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Remember, we talked about sweetness last night. Do you recall? Do you recall what we read about sweetness? About how the sweetness went down to the grave to dwell with the uncircumcised? In Ezekiel 32? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you was out of commission. He had them wore you out. You ain't even know. That nigga John said he proud of that. Talking about I said I love you the middle of 40. Yeah. Who? Neither he can't lay that down.
Oh, there.
See right there? That politician talk. That politician talk. That's what they doing on the Senate right now. False narrative. He Donald Trump. That's fake news. That don't mean it was a lie though.
That was kind of innocent though.
Oh, he ain't. Oh, you say you proud of that. For sure, bro. I just seen it, man. For sure. No, there's not, because they don't never come up and say anybody's innocent in no trial. They always say guilty or not guilty.
Yeah.
No, but is he talking about saying innocent or not guilty? There's a difference. There is no difference because they don't put that on the table.
Difference between the innocent and we just can't say you did.
No, but I mean, they don't come up and say, "Oh, you're innocent." They just say not guilty. They no one has ever been declared innocent. That's people talk.
Not guilty, but he did.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But but it doesn't matter. Like if, bruh, they come out, they don't come up and say, Your Honor, we find the defendant innocent. They never say that. They have not guilty, guilty. That's public opinion. Or they found him not guilty, but he did it. Yeah, but let's imagine all the stuff that you ain't been found guilty for that Yahuwah know you done did. That ain't praying follow the law. See, nobody want to have that conversation. You want to talk about O.J. Simpson. Maybe he did kill that white woman. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But one thing I do know, nigga, we know full well Donald Trump ain't tell all these white folks to run up in no Capitol building. Nigga, that junk was scripted better than the episode of Young and the Restless, nigga. If you really think that junk was real, shoot, that was scripted. That was scripted. And that's obvious. White folks jumping off and falling off of windows. You got a police officer in there running away from niggas, shooting pepper spray. Niggas supposed to got up and stood up and be like, now come on, bro. Y'all trying us. I was telling her this yesterday, right? I heard them complaining, sports people, because they said this Super Bowl was the lowest rated Super Bowl since 2006. And they say all the other major sports, the World Series was down, the NBA Finals was down, the Kentucky Derby was down, and they wondering why all these sports leagues ratings are down. And they talking about, you know, some people say, oh, we're tired of the BLM and all this here. No. You know what people are tired of? It's sad because on the politics part, they still fall for it. You know that these people are giving you contrived and scripted narratives. It's plain, they're sloppy, they're not even hiding it anymore. They're not even putting forth any effort. And people are not invested in this stuff anymore. That's why I put that clip in there with Dwight Smith talking. This man said, real talk, nigga, the Super Bowl winner is going to be who Vegas and the NFL want. And before I heard that clip, I had already seen that the Vegas sports books made $114 million because the Buccaneers won because everybody betted on the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and you think that these people are going to leave that to chance, you smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up and down. I once seen a clip of two NBA announcers talking, and the dude was talking about ways to improve NBA basketball, and the other announcer was like, "Come on now, chill out. It's entertainment." Because the dude was really trying to get something to improve the game, and the other dude like, "Hey, bro, you tripping." Even if you listen to that clip of them interviewing Dwight Smith, they're like, they didn't know what to say. He's like, "Oh, you caught us off guard because they're not expecting him to say this." Nigga, you know this junk scripted out, nigga. That man say, boy, we knew the Raiders. He say the Raiders played 18 games, never called these plays the whole season. Come call John Gruden's whole offense on the Super Bowl. Because why? That fits the story. Number one, the Raiders were heavily favored to win that championship because they had the league's best offense that year. I know some of y'all don't remember 2003 because you was making mud pies and playing with army toys and all that other type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Being kids, you was young turn. That's 2003. Most of y'all wasn't watching no football that intently. Nigga, stop lying, nigga. You wasn't watching that junk intently. No, when I'm talking about intently, nigga, I'm talking about following every nuance of the game. What you were doing. How you were following it. How you were following it. No, you watching the game and following the game is two different things. That means consuming everything that has to do with football. In 2003, how old were you? Might have been 14. But you don't know how old you was 18 years ago? I was 14. So at 14 years old, at the peak of puberty, you might have did because you didn't get no hoes. So. Because in 2003, I was 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? So nigga already knew, but I'm talking about the storyline was what? The Raiders had traded John Gruden to who? To Tampa. Now these the team who he used to coach, who he couldn't get to the Super Bowl, who Tony Dungy couldn't get to the Super Bowl, all of a sudden are in the Super Bowl. Pirates versus Pirates. You know what I'm saying? Man, you got to pay attention to that jump, man. I told you this before, man. I knew that jump was fake when I was in prison in 2009 or 2008, whatever year that was, when the Lakers and Celtics played in that first NBA Finals that the Celtics won. That's when I knew that jump was fake. Because that whole season, that whole preseason, they were talking about the Lakers and Celtics returning back to glory because them niggas was trash. And they traded for Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen on the Celtics. And then, they got Paul Gasol for, a bologna sandwich and a high five because they traded Paul Gasol, who was a top 5 player at his position at the time, for Adam Morrison. The Lakers gave up nothing for a top 5 player. And the next thing you know, Lakers versus Celtics. Nigga, the first NBA basketball game was Lakers versus Celtics on the Sega Genesis thing. What you end up calling NBA Live. That was the first one. Lakers versus Celtics. Then they came with Bulls versus Lakers and Bulls versus Blazers. So don't think that these people don't draft some junk together. So on, man. No, they don't draft some junk together. in order to manipulate the people. You should have known last year that the Lakers was going to win that championship. If you didn't know the Lakers was winning that championship, you wasn't paying attention. You think Kobe Bryant was going to get killed and the Lakers wasn't going to win no chip? Come on, man. I seen that coming. That was plain as day. He said, who? I give my soul up for them boys to get a chip. You didn't even see how they did stuff to make the road as easy as possible for LeBron James. As easy as possible. Because it's entertainment. It's not a competitive sport. They're not going to leave that up. Tavon has something in the clip. Or when Buster Douglas got knocked down by Mike Tyson, you could see the referee steady looking back at the clock. Because shoot, the fix was in. This nigga's not winning today. See, y'all don't bet on games. Well, that's big money. That's big money. Big money. Come on, man. The Chiefs were favorites. Favorites. Even Buddy who ran out there with that thong, he said he did that on purpose because they said they had a bet on if somebody would run on the field, and then he placed a particular type of bet and had other people place that bet and then went and did it and say he cleared 400 racks. Yeah, we did watch that. Yeah, don't be deceived. You can't be that junk is scripted. Come on, man. Tom Brady came out 2 years ago and said his wife is a witch and performed spells for him for every game. That's not no allegedly. He said it out his mouth. She's a good witch. Play with it.
And the nigga in boxing, he was a gypsy.
Gypsy King. Then he ran out there with Jesus Christos on his chest. Oh, you see him? You think that's by accident? Everything's scripted.
But say he made 400,000 off that.
He said he made 400,000. Shoot, he got a thong in his butt. He should have got to shoot 600,000. Nigga, you a string in your boot. Come on, let's roll out on that. Verse 12, Judges 9. Then said the trees unto the vine, because that's what we hear, folks. We've been talking about that vine, right? Let's see what word they use for vine. It's defend the word that we know. Come you reign over us. And the vine said unto them, should I leave my wine, which cheer Elohim and man, and to go be promoted over the trees? Let's look at cheer. Let's look at cheer. Cheer is samak. What does samak mean? There, it's going to tell it. Samak. Oh, no, I'm talking about the actual word. Y'all know I done said it to you several times. We'll tell him what samak mean, man. I know you know. No, the actual word. Oh, y'all don't remember? Deidre, you remember? I'm a whoop. No, man. It means to rejoice or to be glad. Who said, girl, you ain't help yourself out? Well, I'm talking about you around here looking like a project mama. All you need is that glass. All you need is a slit smoke liquor bottle in your hand. Tired of these kids. Baby, go in the back and get my crew. Word for cheer. So the wine rejoices Elohim and man. I want you to look at this because it's a different word for wine. It is tarosh. This is fresh wine, new wine, freshly pressed wine. This is fresh grape juice, just squeezed out. New sweet wine. You got Tao, Yad, Raj, U, and Sean. It's new wine now. So I want you to keep that in mind. He said, should I leave the new wine, which rejoices Elohim and man? This is what the vine say. Think about it. Hello, Lee. Good day to you. I say good day to everyone. Good day, Lee. This nigga said no. Tyrosh, Ty, Yad, Rosh, U, and Shan. So remember, right? He said the vine is saying, should I leave my newly pressed wine, which makes Elohim and man rejoice, to be promoted over the trees? Who are the trees? The people. So the people are asking for the vine to rule over them. The vine is saying, should I leave my newly fresh pressed wine, which makes Elohim and man happy? So the first thing that you're going to have to ask yourself is, how does this new wine make Elohim and man happy? That's the first question.
No, that ain't John.
Anybody else? You got any idea why that new wine make Elohim? Key point is, it said make Elohim and man rejoice. The U.S. Senate votes to acquit Donald Trump. Man, everybody knew that, man. That was a dog and pony show. I wouldn't know. I ain't watched that type of stuff. I don't want to see white people argue about that. And you were watching it with him, talking to him. Oh, that ain't right what they're doing to Mr. Trump. I'm with you. That's a good man. He made America great. What's going on, Glove? All they doing now, they just promote trannies. I hate a tranny. The white man like they said, that's a good, like, they gonna say, that's a good colored man. I like that colored man. Those Negroes love a Negro. Well, you know you're dealing with an old white racist white man. He come and hit you and talking about you colored or a Negro. I don't even think them people still alive. That even talk like that. Colored man? I'd be like, shoot, I ain't colored. Truth be told, buddy, you colored. I was supposed to tell them people, they be like, them colored, but you don't shoot. All us seem to have the same skin pigmentation worldwide. Seems like you the color. I don't care what race of people it is. It could be them Arabs. It could be the East Indians. It could be the Japanese people. They all got color. You the only one without. So you the color. You the dog, nigga. What y'all think that means? First, let's deal with, how does that new wine rejoice Elohim, first and foremost? But how does the blood of the cut, how that make him happy? Now you got to look at a key point. Who is the vine? So then, how does his new wine rejoice his father? He just told you, his obedience. Him having that freshly pressed or new wine is through his obedience. Without his obedience, there is no new wine, which of course is what's going to make him happy. And of course, we know what make man, how that make man happy through what? You're coming out the door disheveled, and it ain't funny. Hey, come here. Come here. Don't do that no more. What are you? Huh? What are you? The young ladies come out with their butt out? What did you just do? So then that's not young lady activity. Huh? No. You think everybody in here want to see your drawers? No, don't get all timid now. Ain't nobody finna get you think everybody in here want to see your underpants? But yet you showed it to them. Why? And then you laughing about it like it's funny. You're a young lady, act like it. Go sit down. So of course, on the rejoicing part of man, man is what? Able to be redeemed. See, the first thing when you hear that word tyros means freshly squeezed wine or new wine, if you think of what? You can't put new wine in what? Old bottles. Because he is the vine and his father is the husbandman. And we talk about that vine, right? And what did he say in that vine in Isaiah 5? What type of grapes did it produce? It produced two types of grapes. Right. White grapes and wild grapes. What are the ripe grapes? They are freshly squeezed. What are the wild grapes? They are worthless and they are useless. Matter of fact, I think it's something similar to that in Jeremiah 24. Let's take a look.
Also,
On that one, that's a little different. And you can tie the Passover. I think I did it in the past because each example of the things that they were talking about, the fig tree, the oil, and the vine, are referencing Yahusha in that parable. Because before that, remember, the dude, the season tells the people, if you listen to me, Elohim will hearken to you. And then it's talking about the people wanting to set a particular type of person to reign over them. You know what I'm saying? But definitely it could lay in the Passover because that first oil is the ruach. The fig tree is the fruits. You know what I'm saying? Or the byproduct of the produce of the seed. And then the vine, of course, is Mashiach. And it goes even further because he says, should he leave? Because it's talking about him literally coming down from Shamahim and say, should I leave the fruit of heaven? Should I go from being a ruach, being made a little higher than man and become lesser than an angel and become of the seed of Abraham? And should I leave this vine or my new wine, which cheers Elohim and man, and come be ruled over you? Because this is him being slain from the foundation of the world. Because the parable really is about what we're talking about, which we're eventually going to get to when he say his love, his kisses or his mouth is better than the new wine. I think I'm saying that incorrectly. That his love is better than wine. Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that none should perish. Because if this man doesn't make a decision to come down from Shamahim and offer himself, everyone perishes. Which goes back to the conversation we were talking about with Adam and Eve, with the fact that it is always constantly overlooked. That similitude is the just dying for the unjust, because Adam was not wrong when he approached her. She was in the wrong. He chose to him being in the right to become wrong in order to spare her, which is a forerunner to what the second Adam would come do to spare his wife. We, like I say, we get stuck on the second part in this day and time because we have this gender war of niggas arguing about men and women. See, we ain't never been protected when it was never his job to protect you from what you already knew to do. What would have protected you was for you to obey what you were told to do, and you would have been protected because Satan was no threat. He did not threaten this woman. He didn't bring any violence to this woman. He made an offer to this woman, a temptation of which she wholeheartedly accepted because that is what she wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? The Philistines, the Assyrians, the Egyptians, once you came up out of Egypt, nobody threatened you with violence to serve their gods. You were tempted to serve their gods because that is what you wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff is going back to what I mentioned is personal responsibility. See, and that came from the video that we put in the chat. All that, yeah, it's a rigged system and all that. But how do you expect your woman to look at you with admiration and respect, and you always blaming another man for your problem? See, if the white man wouldn't do this, then we'll be all right. That woman can never respect you because she know you a hoe. She know that you don't have the heart and and then you wonder why she's looking at Mr. Charlie like, oh, I need to get down with him. She always listens to the white man on the job. She don't never listen to you because she respects him as a man. She don't respect you as a man because you're not conducting yourself as a man. Or you are conducting yourself as a man and she's not conducting herself like a woman, and you tolerate the conduct instead of removing her and telling her, you got to go. Depart from me. Because, see, that's the difference. See, the stereotype is that white men sit there and let their wives push them around. When in reality, those white men will leave. They will leave. They may not divorce her, but they will leave. You know what I'm saying? I done heard two stories from two different people that the men hated their wives so bad that they lived in a whole nother state just to be away from them. You know what I'm saying? Straight them down. This nigga white life.
That nigga killed that.
They say that it's a lot of people don't believe that narrative.
We don't know.
Yeah, the official story is he killed his family. But get what? If he did, that's what he did because he took another man's woman. Because she was with another wrestler. He took another man's woman, and that was her wrestling name, Woman. Yeah, I remember from back in them days. You don't know nothing about that, huh? You weren't watching no WCW. You ain't had that in Dallas.
You know, watching WCW and WWE.
You wasn't watching that, boy. Who I'm talking about, boy, that was before your time, nigga. That was in the 80s. I'm talking about 88, 89, 90. Nigga, you was around here still blowing snot bubbles. Thought that was cool. But what I'm mentioning that for is this here, right? No, you wonder why everybody holds the black man in contempt. Because they see that you are not taking responsibility for your people as a man. And you want this woman to submit to you. That's why when brothers get that word, you're supposed to submit to me, but you not carrying yourself like a man, so she ain't respecting it. She's not respecting it. You can't, and at the end of the day, this is how you can't make a woman respect it. You just get rid of her. That's it. You know what you've been told? Make her respect it and love her and all that. Man, look here, man. If she ain't with it, man, move along. You can't make no woman respect what you're talking about. Because I know that once respect is gone, it's over with. It is over with. There's nothing that you can do. So it's better for you to just move along. If this woman feel like nigga use a buster and a sucker, she can talk to you any kind of way, mush you, and all this other type of stuff. Oh, you looking crazy. A lot of your friends do it. Okay. We know that if you take men and women in a room and see who's going to say the most hurtful, malicious, spiteful, vindictive, hurtful things out of their mouth, ain't a man on this earth can compete with a woman. Ain't a man on this earth can compete with a woman. It was 2, 3 things that a man can say that's gonna hurt a woman's feelings. Tell her she ugly, or her vagina stink, or it's trash. That's about all he got. You know what I'm saying? You ate it though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all will say stuff don't even be true. But you'll say it so such a mean fashion that nigga be like, it's got to be true. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nowhere in the world. And y'all know that it is men nationwide that are verbally abused by black women every day. And that nigga just sit and look at the TV. Cause man, this whole crazy. Man, I'm gonna hit this hole in the head with this bottle. But he don't never hit in the head with the bottle. He just keep clicking down. Man, I'm finna go to down around here to such and such house. You know what I'm talking about? And y'all know you ain't. Some of y'all done got slick out of mouth with a nigga a time or two, and you probably thought after you said what you said that you was shocked this nigga ain't slap you in your mouth. Look how you looking. You done. You done got slick out your mouth several times. You did it with your husband. I know you had. But he done told him. You done did it in front of the company too. He said, now what if that man would hit you with a GTS? You would have thought he was wrong. You know what a GTS is? You don't even know what that is, do you? Huh? No, that ain't no gun. That's a knee to your chin, nigga. That means go to sleep. That's a wrestling move. Nigga, hit you with that chin, nigga, go to sleep. That's your man who couldn't MMA fight. You know who I'm talking about? You don't know? You don't know about Chick Magnet Field? Or CM Punk? Yeah, he got knocked out when he went to MMA. Yeah, he was a wrestler. That was his finishing move. Boy, he got whooped decent. Tried to be an MMA fighter. Brock Lesnar, he was not.
What you call him?
He was a UFC fighter first, and then went to wrestling. Ken Shamrock whooped niggas in real life. Yeah, Kimbo did, and I was in prison when he got knocked out. We were watching that one. That white boy caught him with that thing and stunned him, and they stopped that fight, boy. I mean, one thing about it, that ain't backyard fighting, boy. That ain't backyard fighting. Come back to Songs of Solomon. I would go into Jeremiah 23. That ain't backyard fighting, boy. That MMA something different. See, back when Shamrock started fighting in UFC, because we were watching it back then, they ain't had no weight class. Jeremiah 24, they ain't had no weight class. So you can have a 150-pound man fighting a 330-pound man. And I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Them Gracies used to take them boys out. Them Gracies by biggest Stanley. No cap, they might have been a little bit taller, skinny men. choke men twice they weight out. Like this here, have them out of here. Because that joint wasn't regulated back then. So it was what you know. 24-2. Matter of fact, make it 24-1. Yahuwah showed me, and 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of Yahuwah. The Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah the son of Joachim the Malach of Yehuda, and the princes of Yehuda with the carpenters, smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them unto Babylon. One basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe, and the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten because they were so bad. Let's look at figs. En Tahan, which is a fig, that is Tau, Aleph, Noon. They got a hay on here too. This is a fig tree. How many of y'all like figs? You ever had a fig, Felicia? You like figs, don't you? Yeah, you do. Yeah, that nigga. Oh, you like figs, Eugene? You don't even know what a fig is. You don't know what no fig is, Eugene. Yeah, I do. Oh, you do? Let me see what they got in here for naughty. Oh, you been naughty? I hope you haven't been naughty. I'm sorry. Verse 4, though, right? Again, the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, thus saith Yahuwah the Elohim of Yasharal, like these good figs, I will acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Yehuda, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. So when we look at that which is of good fruit, he said he will acknowledge them. So if you're the good figs, then what would that make you? Because remember, captivity means what? To be exiled. Now, Babylon is what? That is confusion. We got captive, you have galoof. This is exile. So this is a separation, if you will. And of course, you know, Babylon means confusion. So those who are of the good figs, they are what? They're separated from the confusion. This is kind of like when you can think about what it is. I got 7,000 men who ain't bowed the knee to ball. He said, for I will set my eyes upon them for good. I will bring them again to this land. I will build them and not pull them down. I will plant them and not pluck them up. Now let's come to Matthew chapter 15 from a word from the Lord, from Yahushua himself. And let's look at something that he says right here in 15 and 12. Just for the case of point that he said, those who he has separated, he said he gonna plant you and build you. So what is he telling you? He's telling you if you've been separated, I will make you into what I want to make you. I will plant you into the ground. You will bring forth fruit. I will take that foundation and I will build upon you, and I will look upon you for your good. 15 and 12. Then came his disciples and said unto him, know you that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? And he answered, every plant which my heavenly Abba have not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into the ditch. Now, why did I mention that? Because if you've been built, go ahead, man. Well, shoot, go and put it on for you. You ain't got nothing on. You ain't got.
I got something on.
What you got on? Oh, you like the one? You like that? You like that? The one? Look at it. She's out. That gets you ready, huh? It's a nice smell. Don't feel. I'm just telling you that because she know, because she like it too. Because I got the Jerry Pregler smells like sex in a bottle, baby. That's how he said it. Every time he mean it too. Oh, it seems like all the ladies like that. That just don't last long.
Yeah.
Get about 4 or 5 hours out of it.
Yeah.
I ain't know you was into tobacco. Yeah, it's tobacco in the one. Michael, did you behave yourself this week? Why not? Sit up straight and stop laying on the floor. You don't deserve to lay down. Shoot, by his own admission, he hadn't behaved himself. Does he deserve to relax? Exactly. 24 and what? 6? Well, no, I'm in 7. Let's look at what he says after that, right? I will give them a heart to know me. See, this is what I came here for. Because the good figs get what? A heart to knowing. So what does that point us to? We give thanks to Elohim always, brethren, for those of you who have been sanctified through belief in the truth from the beginning. See, let's look at to know. He said, well, I will give them a heart to know me, that I am Yahuwah. They shall be my people. I will be their Elohim, for they shall return unto me with the whole heart. But you're not understanding that he has already made a distinction that there are people who he has sanctified for salvation, and there are people who is going to destroy. And that's the difference of going back in Isaiah chapter 5, looking at them ripe grapes and them, what you call them? Worthless grapes. So you forcefully know that's Yada. So you're able to know and to discern. See, a lot of people want you to believe you ain't in no new covenant right now, all that type of stuff. And you can believe whatever you want to believe. But you're going to find out real quick, fast, and in a hurry when you close your eyes. When the lights go out, new covenant was in effect. The minute that man rose up out the grave. At this point, you saying that Yahushua was crucified and rose from the dead for nothing. Because let's put it to you this way. So when was the old covenant put into effect? You say, well, Moses got it. What you say? At the mountain? In what regard? No, I think that's what she alluding to, what he just said. When he sprinkled that blood on them people and on that book, and sprinkled them people in that book with his side, that's when they were joining the covenant. Coming through the Red Sea wasn't no covenant. Even when Moses came down, well, Moses didn't come. Even when Yahuwah came and ran off the 10, wasn't no covenant made yet. That covenant wasn't sealed till blood was shed. You know what I'm saying? That's in Exodus 24, if you're not aware of the location. That covenant wasn't sealed till blood was shed. See, with Yahushua, once he had got hung up there on that tree and that blood shed, then we did talk about it last night. He said, I'll water the land. Once that blood was shed, he went in that grave. The covenant started right then. And when he rose from the dead, it was sealed. It's a wrap. It's over with. This is in effect. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas can talk till they mouth fry fish. Amen indeed. He talks to your mouth fry fish. Keep around here lying on that man talking about his contract ain't in. If the contract ain't in effect, that means you are not obligated to the terms and conditions, which means you can't get the benefits of the terms and conditions because it's not in action. That means you can't get no ruach or your sins forgiven. Don't let nobody tell you that bold-faced lie. Whoever tell you that, they're a special type of student. You know what I'm talking about? Because that man said it's plainly in Jeremiah 31, I will remember their sins, what? No more. They get stuck on people still saying no, yeah. Those who he done set to give him a heart to know him, they know him. Soon as the gospel's heard, they hear it, they submit to him and follow. So them niggas just talking because they don't know no better. It's okay. The Lord will straighten them out. Unfortunately, they ain't gonna want to be straightened out at that time. He gonna straighten us out in the wilderness. Line. How are you sent by him? He need to straighten you out on your bad teaching. Now ask yourself that question. He sent you to teach something that he need to correct you on later. So you saying he gave you bad information? Because don't dudes say, "Oh, the Spirit moved me to say this." You know what I'm saying? The Ruach moved me, brother. But the Ruach moved you in the wrong direction. So you Ahab prophet. That's what you tell me. That's the Ruach of air. Amen. Hallelujah indeed. Like you have to keep it you gotta keep it a buck, man. The man didn't die for nothing. The whole purpose of him dying was for your sins to be forgiven and for you to be a partaker of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, the Ruach Elohim, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? You want to describe it, the spirit of separation, however you want to spin it, grin it, and min it. At the end of the day, that's what he died for. Sins remitted, Ruach HaKodesh, live forever. Everything else is just a byproduct of those two things. You can't participate in anything else without those two major components because that was his number one mission. How do we know this? Because we just talked about this the other day. He said that he came for the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal, according to Psalms 119. What does that mean? Do you know what that means according to Psalm 119? Oh, you slacking decent, son. I know somebody in here better tell me what that means according to Psalms 119. I just mentioned this Wednesday. What does that mean? I mean, I went in depth. If don't nobody know, I feel insulted. Because I took my time with that one. And we done dealt it in the past. Psalms 119, it tells you exactly what that means when he say that I am sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal. And I certainly took my time Wednesday evening to explain that again. I feel disrespected. You feel disrespected, Eugene? Eugene? I feel doubly disrespected. What about you, little Joe? Okay. Okay. I don't. Nah. See, you ignored me, cuz. I know you did. All right, come on. Anybody? What does that mean? Lost sheep of house of Yasharal. What does that mean? I promise we just did this Wednesday.
Word. Turn it back.
Third.
That wasn't a word.
You better go read Psalms 119 again.
Turn back. Come on. Turn it right.
No, it's in Psalms 119, like 176. It's at the end.
Probably not. The last one said, I have garnished her like a lost sheep. I won't forget that you.
What'd you say, sir? That's all you got out of that? It's something else. It's something else.
I said.
Go astray ain't what we're looking for. I definitely went over this Wednesday.
Yeah.
You looking at Wanda, ain't you? You ought to be looking at Lost. No, sir. I just told you what verse it was. Psalms 119, verse 176. No, tell them what that word lost in Hebrew means, sir.
Perish, to be put to death.
To die. That's what it means. Say it out for him in the back. I just did this Wednesday.
Put to death, to destroy, to perish, to go astray, be destroyed.
That Hebrew word for lost that you usually see him say, I'm for the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal. These are sheep that have perished. These are sheep that are dead. These are sheep that are destroyed. Which should make it when you come in and you think about, hey, that my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge, that should ring a little differently. But that's Psalms 119, verse 176. When you say the wander, what them wandering out of the way have led them to be sheep that have been killed. That's why he say he's only seeking the lost sheep because these sheep are dead. That's why he say he came to give you life and to give it to you in abundance because you didn't have any. Because you were destroyed sheep, not lost in the sense that you couldn't be found. He knew exactly where you were at. But you were literally walking dead. And why were you dead? Because as Paul wrote it in his epistles in Ephesians chapter 2, you were dead in trespasses and sins. You were dead in rebellion and breaking of his instructions. So therefore you are destroyed. And that's why it's referred to as lost sheep. That's why I mentioned that on Wednesday. So when you read Matthew 15:24, or you read that Matthew chapter 10, when he say, go to the lost sheep in the house of Yasharal, and you return and you scrolling through Psalms 119, 176, and you say, don't let me wander like a lost sheep, then you see what happens when you wander, as it says in the proverb, that if you wander out of the way of understanding, you will dwell amongst the congregation of the dead. When you go outside of this man's will and way, you perish. That's what happens. That's what you're looking at with those naughty pigs, because they're not kissing this man and giving him the returning with an upright answer, which is going to be according to the word. So you don't see that his love is better than wine. That doesn't register in your mind because you're not coming down to hearken like his companions in that garden are hearkening to him, because they are already in God with him. That's why we took the time last night to look at the spirits that he preached to in prison. Because the spirits that he preached to in prison is your Abraham, it's your Isaac, it's your Jacob, it's your Isaiah, it's your Jeremiah. It's the people who already believed the word, but didn't have any gospel because that was before their time. You got the perfection before they got it. You know what I'm saying? They got it after the fact. That's why the covenant is sealed upon his resurrection. So when an individual tells you, oh, the new covenant is not in effect, they're just woefully unskilled in the gospel and mystery of the living Elohim. That's what you have. I keep telling y'all this stuff because I am not the bastion of all scriptural knowledge, but you should have enough discernment. You don't have to open your mouth. You just, okay, you don't know what he's talking about. You should be able to know. Ain't no gospel with that man. Because if he had gospel, there's nowhere in the world he would tell me that. I know Elohim has not sent him. He has not put that word in his mouth. Because why would a man tell you that the Son of God came and was killed to renew a covenant, but the covenant's not in effect? Now ask yourself, does that even make practical, logical sense? That I need to enact a covenant later? Because what do they say? They still saying know him. You don't know him because you them naughty figs. That's why you don't know him. Because we just read, he said that he set those who he exiled, those good figs, he said he'll give them a heart to what? To know him. And he said, I'll come get them. But let's look at what he said with them naughty figs, though. Verse 8, and as the evil figs which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus saith Yahuwah, so I give Zechariah the Malach of Yehuda his princes, and the residue that remain in this land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt. I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach, a proverb, a taunt, and a curse in all the places whither I shall drive them. I will send the sword, the famine, the pestilence among them, till they are consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and their fathers. So you have a group that will be tormented, and you have a group that will be delivered. All that takes you back in school. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And see, and this goes back to, and we might crack jokes about it from time to time, but this is in all seriousness right about now. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, what I want by verse 9. You know, when the dude with the panda bear and all this, that's why you have to be dead honest with women and men, specifically women, because you have so many men that will pander to women to cause them to dwell in a delusion that is to their detriment. Why do I say that? Especially women, because that woman is representative of Yasharal. So if dudes are pandering, telling lies to women, then you know dudes are pandering and telling lies to our people as a whole, with the men and the children, and that's to their detriment. You can't worry about being liked. You know what I'm saying? See, the reason why, we already know the reason why dudes lie to women, because you want to have sex with these women. So you're not going to tell her the truth. And a lot of times when a dude's sleeping with a woman, he still ain't going to tell her the truth. We know why men lie to men or pander to men, because you want their money or you want their admiration. Or as Peter put it, you have men's persons at advantage by admiration because you're seeking to get some level of esteem. Because when you're an honest person and you tell the truth, especially on sensitive topics, you are not going to be well liked and received. What woman, if a woman's overweight and she says she can't get a man, you really want to be told that you need to lose about 70 pounds? You don't really want to hear that. You want somebody to tell you, you're beautiful, sister. You're just beautiful as you are. If he can't love you at 300 pounds, he don't deserve you. No one's going to love you at 300. Not the type of man that you want. See, they want you to come and say, you want Yahuwah to love you. Well, you know, he's a merciful God. He loves you despite of your sins because he hates the sin but loves the sinner. No, he hates both. He's not going to love you in that state. He doesn't want that. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want it. So why are you intent on giving somebody something that they don't want? Because again, what person is, if you do that, if you want to give Yahuwah something he don't want, who does that mean you the offspring of? Cain. And what does Cain have in common? He hated the righteous. He slew the righteous. We'll look at that in a moment. Let me read this 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. He said, even him whose coming is after the working of the adversary, with all power, with signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. For this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure unrighteousness. That's them figs, those evil figs, which could not be eaten. But we are bound to give thanks always to Elohim for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because Elohim from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Ruach and belief for the truth. And those are the good figs. And he literally said that in Jeremiah. I will give them a heart to know me. I will save them. They will know me. I will be their Elohim. I set them to the side. whereunto he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the esteem of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. Therefore, brethren, stand fast, hold the traditions which you have been taught, whether by word or our epistle. Our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach himself, Elohim, even our Abba, which have loved us and given us an everlasting consolation and good hope through mercy, comfort your hearts and establish you in every good work. Now let's come over here to 1 John chapter 3. And let's look at what he say about old Cain. Because you don't want to be a seed of Cain. Muffin man, what you got going on back there, boy? Screw it, man. You can pick it up at 1 John chapter 3, man. And you can pick it up at verse 4. I'll just run the whole thing. 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin rebels. Remember, transgression is to rebel against the instructions. For sin is rebellion of the instructions. And you know that he was manifested to take away our sin, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abide in him, sin not. Whosoever sinned have not seen him, neither known it. Now, notice this here, right? The people who he say he sanctified that would know him, clearly these were people who will put sin away. Little sons, let no man deceive you, that he that do righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. Now, we didn't talk about this as much as we've had in the past, because you know that's a mind-numbing thing. How many of y'all done heard a guru tell you ain't nobody righteous, your righteousness is filthy rags? How many of you heard that before in your life? Now, that's in Isaiah 64. Notice the key word in Isaiah 64. He said, whose righteousness? Yours. Yours. That's the key thing. Possessive word here. Your righteousness is as filthy rags. So that means you need to get rid of your righteousness and submit yourself to Elohim's righteousness, which is Yahushua, because your righteousness is worthless. You know what I'm saying? And your righteousness, for scriptural sake, would be of the law, when you need the righteousness which is of faith, because you are confessing and professing that Yahuwah is the living Elohim. And because you have made that proclamation, then you will have that dedication to the adherence to his instructions. So you don't let no people telling you like, oh, ain't nobody righteous. No, not one. You know, that's everybody's favorite line. And that's accurate till Yahushua came. Because he said, by knowledge of my righteous servant will justify many. Justify is the dot, which is to make many righteous. So you don't let nobody run around and tell you ain't righteous. So tell them, speak for yourself. Because if you in Mashiach, you shouldn't have no problem in boasting and esteeming in your Savior that you are just and righteous before his eyesight, because you do the things that pleases him, which is to believe on his name and to keep his instructions. And somebody want to say they ain't righteous, that's a personal problem with them. So you have to learn how to let people have their own problems. Just like brother talking to this woman said this, that, there, and the third, and he said, baby, that's a you problem. And you trying to transfer onto me what your problems are. That's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing to do with that. Same thing what we finna read. People talking about, oh, I'm a sinner. Well, shoot, speak for yourself. You a sinner. Stay one, if that's what you like. I myself have chosen another direction. Because y'all know that offends people when you tell people that one, right? How many of y'all people that had somebody look at you crazy when you told them that you could cease from disobeying? Because all you're doing with sin is I'm saying I'm going to obey now. Do you understand how asinine the human mind has to be for an individual to get offended because you told them it was possible to follow instructions? So what does that tell you? That tells you that those people don't have a desire to follow instructions. Remember I mentioned it last night, man, and what BOA mentioned, which is a beautiful way to put it. They'll tell you, how many of y'all done heard women ridicule men for getting younger women? Oh, he just want to control her. But why would you want an uncontrollable woman? Because at the end of the day, does Yahuwah want people he can control, or does he want those wild grapes, them evil figs that's worthless and good for nothing? Who wants somebody that they cannot control? Because why do people look at control? First, we look at control. Go here, go there. And that's not what control means. That's someone who can be directed. When you hear a woman say, I can't be controlled, she doesn't want to be directed. She wants to direct herself, which is no different than somebody who is a woman, i.e. a man, who hear that gospel and say, nah, bro, see, that's oppressive and controlling. I want to do what I want to do. When you hear somebody say they can't be controlled, they don't like to be controlled, they want to do, they can't be directed. And if a person can't be directed, that means also that they cannot be corrected, which means you got to send that person on their way. That's male or female. Because if you got a business and you got somebody who you can see doesn't like to follow directions, that's not someone you keep on your payroll. You have to get rid of them. Because even as a man, before you can direct other men, at some point in your life, you're going to be under the direction of another man. Nobody just wakes up one day and leads people. As the saying says, leaders are not born, they are made. You're groomed for that. Because before Yahushua led, was he not under subjection of his father in the natural sense? He was under this man's instruction before he became a grown man to lead other men. At some point in your life, you're going to have to be servant in service to another man so you can know what it is to lead other men. You just can't come out and you ain't never served under no other man and just lead men. That's not how that works. Ain't nobody going to listen to you because you're not going to know what you're doing. You know what I'm talking about? And when you hear people say, I don't want to be controlled, that's oppressive, that's not, that you can't do nothing with that. That man has female tendencies. Because when you deal with people who go to the army, you don't never hear them say, somebody, ain't nobody going to tell me what to do. You find a man who say ain't nobody going to tell him what to do, and I guarantee you that's a man who wasn't raised by no man whatsoever in any shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? Ain't had no man around, because that's woman talk. Ain't nobody going to control me. Ain't nobody going to tell me what to do. Nigga, what? There's a difference in saying you want to have the freedom and the autonomy to lead your own life as far as business is concerned. It's another thing to say that no man is ever going to tell me what I'm going to do. That means you're not fit to lead other men. You might can lead a woman, but you ain't gonna be able to lead other men. Because you're not gonna have to be able to convey to these men to get them to do what they want to do. The reason why I'm mentioning that because the text tells us through Galatians chapter 4 that even though that Yahushua was Lord of all, he was under what? Tutors and governors until the time appointed. That means that he was taught and was under rulership till it was his time to teach and lead. See, that's a hard one for a lot of young men to swallow when they hear that gospel. Because a lot of niggas, you full of testosterone and you feel like I know what I'm doing. And he say, you know what, Yahuwah said, you do know what you're doing. Depart from me. Because I can't do nothing with nobody like that. See, when you've been taught in this society that you're supposed to try to tame a wild woman. Oh no. Oh no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You ain't got to tame anybody. That was her daddy's job. If she don't know how to serve a man, that's her problem. I'm going to holler at you. I'm out. And that's how you will look at it. Oh, you don't want to serve? What he did to Saul? Oh, you don't want to serve me? Oh, you want to do what you want to do? I'm out. He didn't sit back and try to tame him. He tried to give him opportunities to do what I told you to do. He didn't try to tame him. I'm not taming you. Tame you for what? See, that's a hard pill to swallow because that is what the movies and the TV is told women. If he loves you, he'll fight for you. Me fighting with you for you to listen to what I'm telling you is not fighting for love. That's me fighting stupidity. And you the stupid one. So I'm going to leave. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're supposed to do. But what they tell you to do, sit there and suffer it, don't you? If you really love it. But who's telling you that? Are men telling you that? Or are women telling you that? Women are telling you that. To stay there and fight. Fight for what? You don't want to listen. You don't want to adhere and cooperate to what I'm saying. What is Yahuwah going to do if you don't want to listen and you don't want to cooperate with what he's saying? What is he going to do? Holler at you. Why is he going to holler at you? Because you do not have a love for the truth. That which is faithful and reliable, you don't have a love for it. So he's going to move on. And he's going to go with the person who does. And that's what happened with Vashti Stanley. Did he get rid of her and get a new wife? Play with him if you want to. You like to say, I ain't coming. He said, don't worry about it. You ain't got to come. You know what they did to Vashti, right? Do you know what they did to her? They killed that hoe. You don't know who Queen Vashti is? You need to take it now. You know who Queen Vashti is, bro?
No.
I can understand. You like the little almonds and lavender?
Can I get a point of reference?
No, but it's leather in there. You got to spray it. You're going to smell the lavender off the top. You know who Queen Vashti is? You dress like her. Shoot, you got on Middle Eastern garb. Who is Queen Vashti? Alicia? You don't know who her husband was? Where her husband from? I get it. Y'all don't read the book of Esther. It's okay. Who is Queen Vashti? Nisha.
I told you I didn't know, but Dee did tell me what the point of reference was.
What she told you? She didn't tell you that.
She did.
You told her that? I don't know what you would do. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Nothing, I'm not.
Shoot, that's the tagline. They don't play it no more. Shoot, go to the store and buy it. Shoot, that's what I'm gonna do. They got dark chocolate Klondike bar. I've had a couple. They're delightful. Shoot, it's been a while. Shoot, dark chocolate be hitting. I don't like the bitter kind, because you need a glass of water with you. You know what I'm talking about? Queen Vashti is King Xerxes' wife. He called for Vashti, and Vashti did not come. He was counseled by all the men or the leaders in his realm that he needed to kill that hoe. Because if they didn't, all the women in the realm would see that they could disrespect and disobey their husband. So he gave a decree in the land that all women be subject to their husband. That's why when you see Paul come through on the back end with that, where you think he got it from? See, everybody think that stuff just come up in the text for no reason. See, come around here to this here in Esther, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You know, it's about Purim time. Sometimes we take a trip to Esther, sometimes we don't. You can say appreciate it. That don't mean I am. Not just for that, I'm gonna make you read it on your own time. Somebody appreciate it. You wasn't gonna.
That's saying when he was in 300.
Yeah, he was in 300. They had him looking like a punk though. They disrespect that man.
What's the chapter and verse?
I ain't gave you no verse yet. He might have been. Shoot, I don't know. Book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 11. Sweetie gold, cotton candy, sweet and gold. What's up, boy? You all right? Yeah, you good. Yeah, he good. To bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men which knew the times, so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. And the next under him, Karshina, Shethar, Adamatha, Tarshish, Marius, Marcina, Mechman, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law, because she have not performed the commandment of King Xerxes by the chamberlain? Mechamen answered before the queen and the princes, Vashti the queen have done wrong not done wrong to the king only, but to all the princes and to all the people that are in the provinces of King Xerxes. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Xerxes commanded Vashti the queen to be brought before him, and she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes which have heard the deed of the queen, thus shall arise too much contempt and wrath. See, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier of the lack of respect. See, when you allow disrespect of a woman to persist, that's what happens. And then when other women see that, they begin to have contempt for their man as well. You know what I'm saying? See, that was the example when we were talking about that when you saw the example of and they say that Stephen Curry posted that picture of this bad body boy. You know what I'm saying? That's disrespect. That's disrespect to him. That's disrespect to his offspring. So why is any? So now she's gonna get what she wants. She's gonna get sugar sausages all across the country. Because if his niggas see that, if niggas see that he don't respect his wife, why should I respect him by not slaying his wife? Because see, that's how men operate. Men are going to give men of high degree and value and status respect by not sliding on his wife. But if he see that he don't respect it, then they're not going to respect it. Because we've already talked about this here. You can sleep with another woman. So another woman could come through your man sleeping with him. Y'all ain't really worried about the threat of no violence. You ain't worried about this woman coming to cut you, shoot you. Because that's just talk. You can look like that all you want. But y'all ain't trying. Y'all ain't built that way. Boy, man, no, boy, you slide another man's wife, boy, there's a strong likelihood if he catch you, that nigga gonna blow your brains on the carpet. You know what I'm saying? That's why dudes, when somebody say that's somebody's wife, that junk's different. Because y'all don't walk around worried about violence, female to female. Period. You can disrespect a woman, you ain't worried about, I'm about to kill this one. No, y'all don't. Y'all don't live y'all life like that. She was. She dropped little baby too. She did. She dropped it. She was out there ready to bump. Baby was not on that. But see, that's a anecdotal situation. That's a man's reality every day. Because you already know, but you can't go to no man. Yes, you want nigga, what you gonna do? That nigga gonna kill you. If he on that type of time. I mean, dudes out here killing people over glares, stepping on shoes. Ain't now woman had to be worried about getting shot for stepping on those shoes. Oh, he looked at me wrong. I'm gonna kill her. This is different. I mean, the book tell you in Proverbs 6 that a man will take you out by the wife. We didn't read that. It didn't say a woman will take you out by. No. Because at one point in time in history, a woman knew she was going to share a man anyway. So she ain't worried about that no way. And unfortunately, in the world, a lot of women, the world is heading down that path of women sharing a man. It's heading down that path. Not because of the fact of so many men are going to die, but because these women can't get no man. So they're just going to be comfortable with it. You can look at it, it's more women than men. So even if every man on the planet had a woman, it would still be women left over who would have no man. Now, we've already discussed why there's more women than men. Because you need more women in regards to reproduction because y'all age out. Men never age out. So that's why there's more women than men. But I'm talking about people who in the world, they getting to that point of, I'd rather share a nigga than be alone. Because these women are alone. Now you're shaking your head at that because you're not looking at it from the gala aspect. You're looking at it from a personal aspect. I ain't sharing no man. But when you talking about not being out here protected, dolo, and you got to fend and fight for yourself, your thought process might change on that. Because if you ain't got no man, you have no protection. None whatsoever. Because ain't no random nigga gonna be like, oh, they're shooting at her. Let me take a bullet. She a dead woman tonight. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you under a man's guide, he like this here. Oh, I gotta go get my girl, nigga, shoot now. Because that's why a lot of women when the pandemic hit, they went out there. But they seen, oh, this little job I had done disappeared. I ain't got no money. I need me a man now. See, all that stuff of the independence, not need no man, I can do it on my own. See, the trade-off on that is you can have all the money, you can have your fly cars and your nice house, but ain't nobody taking no bullet for you, baby, and ain't nobody shooting no guns. So you can't turn around talking about protect the black woman. Better hit the gun store and go to the gun range, baby, get your training because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. You talking about, yeah, we ain't sharing. Look at you. But just in the reality of the situation, if that was permissible, there would be nothing that you could do to stop it. You would either accept it or leave. Then that'd be the hard part for a lot of women to swallow. I ain't trying to share no nigga. But guess what? You want, but you, yeah, indirectly. Dude, you got to share your God. That's why dudes be getting mad. That's why they be saying, truth be told, it'd be funny that dudes promote polygyny, but then say, nah, bro, he only for Israel. You don't want to share your husband, though. Ain't that ironic? That's some irony for your behind. You know what I'm saying? You want a woman to share you, but you don't want to share yours. You know what I'm talking about? But that's another conversation for another time. What I'm just referring to is people in the world, because I'm hearing people in the world discuss that, and they're seeing that people who are in the world, they're headed in that direction. And not just women sharing men, but men sharing women, women being in polyandry type relationships. And if you don't know what that is, that's a woman with multiple men. Oh, you looked at that. You're not familiar with that term? No, that's what it's called. It's called polyandry. No, that's just what you have. I'm just saying this is where the world is headed. I'm not talking about people in the word. I'm talking about people in the world.
No, I was saying, how's that beneficial to the men though, to be there? Like all of that.
They're not married. They're not going to be actually married to these people because in the United States, it's illegal to be married to more than one person at one time. That's called a bigamy, and you'll go to jail. You can't have multiple marriage licenses to separate people. You definitely can go to jail for that. Pay big fines.
The white people that do it.
So those are Mormons. They don't have legal marriage certificates.
They don't think so.
No, because in their religion, they're allowed to do it. I mean, most religions worldwide allow that. They do it in the Middle East quite rare. The only difference is you're not accustomed to being in a patriarchal society. You're not accustomed to being in a society ruled by black men. Every other nationality of people, that's what they come from. East Indian people come from a culture ruled by men. Asian people come from a culture ruled by men. Middle Eastern people, quote unquote, Arabs come from a culture ruled by men. Europeans come from a culture ruled by men, but they are liberal, which is why Western society, quote unquote, America and all that, they're liberal. A woman could do whatever she wants to do. You can't go, look here, right? All the black women talk all that trash, but when they go to Dubai and all that there, they do exactly what them Arab tell them to do. Because you're not coming over there with that. The men ain't having it. You ain't coming with that lip. You ain't coming with no busted show song. You ain't popping, locking, and dropping, none of that. You ain't doing none of that over there. They ain't with it. They're not with it. They don't allow it. They moderate a woman from the day she's born to giving her to her husband. You're not living over there doing what you want to do. That's why the white folks go over there and they get upset. We got to free the woman, liberate the woman, because they want to destroy the image of male authority in the sight of all people on the earth. That's already done with black folks. That's already been accomplished. I got you that. That's already been accomplished. You know what I'm saying? That's going back to what I'm talking about, what he's talking about. If you don't protect this woman, there's going to be contempt amongst all the women in the realm, because he just said she ain't just sin against you, bro. She's sinning against every man in this kingdom, because now these women say, I can disrespect you. See, that's not a thing for us, because most dudes raised by their mama. I love my mama, this, that, there, and the third. Man, bump your mama. You know what I'm talking about? You say, I agree. I don't like my mama. Man, most brews ain't legally married if they got one. Most of these dudes be around here talking about, I put my penis in you, you my wife, no paperwork. I done told y'all before, if a nigga come tell you, you his wife, because he done dropped some penis off in you, you just a dumb hoe. Something got to be on paper. Penis ain't no marriage covenant, baby. That's just penis. That's just penis. That's all that is. That's just penis. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes don't believe in marriage certificates. They write ketubas. That's their business. But you got to get something right, baby. That's the Elohim way. Boy, there got to be some evidence. How you gonna prove that's your wife with some penis? See, my penis has been there. Nigga, talking about we said vows. Nigga, stop lying. Where the proof at? The vows in the wind, nigga. Can we find them? That nigga talk. You know what I'm saying? But a nigga will write up a bill of divorcement and give it to her, but won't write a marriage contract out. That's some hypocrisy for your behind. You know what I'm saying? That nigga talk. You got to be careful when nigga talk. Cause that's where the women get mad at. I got in the word. He told me I was his wife. He said sex was marriage. Then he put me out and divorced me. No, you a dumb hoe. That's what you is. That's what you is. And it's okay. But you got to acknowledge you's a dumb hoe. You did stuff out of order because you did not have a man to guide and direct that process. You was messing with old low-hanging fruit, trash can nigga. You know what I'm talking about? And you rather blame all men in the word, period, than to just accept the fact that you made a bad choice. And that's it. Because like what I asked you the other day, don't you always hear Hebrew women talking about they get beat on? I ain't never met one chick yet who in the word nigga put their hands on her. But they always talk about they getting oppressed and beaten and kicked and abused. And he taking my vagina. I don't want to have sex. And he have sex with me anyway. And this, that, and the third. But a lot of that stuff comes down to these dudes ask these women to do stuff and the women don't do it and they check them for it. And they're unaccustomed to it because they want someone to worship them. You ain't heard, boy. Let me read this. Have to finish this out. Verse 19, if it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him. Let it be written among the laws of the Persians and Medes, that it be not altered. If Vashti come no before King Xerxes, and let the king give her royal estate to another that is better than she. And when the king's decree, which he shall make, be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both small and great. The saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Mechaman. For he sent letters unto all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, to every people after their length. So this went to everybody. Because there were multiple different people other than Medes and Persians. He had rule over the whole world. So he wrote this to everyone in their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. That man say every man should pick up and direct his own household. You don't have that anymore. And if you stand up and be a man in this society, you're going to be canceled. That is what is going to happen. You're going to be canceled. You're going to be removed. You're going to be shamed. They're going to call you a misogynist. They're going to call you a woman hater. They're going to hit you with, you don't love your mama and all this other type of stuff. What my mom, I heard people say, oh, I don't want to do, so I don't want to be with a woman with kids. Your mama was a single mother. What that got to do with him? What does that have to do with him? But that shit, oh, you must hate your mama. You know what if somebody ever hits you with, you must hate when you hit them with, I sure do. I can't stand that hell. Now what? That's the only reasonable response. Would you agree? Because you trying to shame me with that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw you off and give you the answer you wasn't looking for. I hate her. I can't stand her guts. She never made me macaroni and cheese what I want. She gave me crab. She didn't make it from scratch. I wanted a Nintendo when I was a boy. She brought me ColecoVision. That went out 10 years ago. You know what I'm talking about? See, I'm sarcastic like that. You might not have them skills to mess with people's brains like that. But if you do it. Have fun with it. Enjoy yourself. 1 John chapter 3. That's what I say. I got you in a second, Dad. I say if you're going to do it, have fun with it. We in 3 and 8. He that commits sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose was the Son of Elohim manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whoso is born of Elohim do not commit sin, for his seed remain in him. He cannot sin, because he is born of Elohim. And this the sons of Elohim are manifest, and the sons of the devil. Whosoever do not righteousness is not of Elohim, neither he that love not his brother. For this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of the wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brothers was righteous. And that's what we mentioned that when you got people get that, you got to you Cain. Because Cain came and brought that man anything and thought he was supposed to take it. Your works were evil, or they were not agreeable to Elohim. But Abel's was agreeable, and he got mad and killed him. And you're going to get that same type of conduct. Let me finish out this Songs of Solomon 1, and then I'll hit Isaiah 4 and 1 for that, because he would like for me to rehash that. You know about Isaiah 4 and 1, don't you? You know about that, Michael? Callie know about it? You know about Isaiah 4 and 1, Callie? They say 7 women going to go to one man and say, I'm going to be with you. That's what it say. That's a lot of Brew's favorite line. We going to get 7 women. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I ain't got the patience or the penis for 7 women. Oh, y'all get out my face. Because you're gonna have to serve all 7 of them women. What if they want to get served in the same day? Ain't no much Blue Chew, Viagra, I'm talking about ginseng in the world. You're gonna have to do more than alkaline. You're gonna have to do more than that. Nigga, you have to eat all the sea moss. But outside of that, I ain't even got the patience. Because if these 7 women ain't in line, I'm promising you, I'm putting everybody out. We're gonna have to go monk mode. You know about that, huh, Brandon? Going monk mode. You didn't go monk mode by choice. That was strictly by force. Nah, I'm talking about that boy right now. You know. That what your man always talking about, going monk mode. He's nuts. I just took that one there because it was there. Your man Anthony Spade. No, that's how you know about going monk mode. Y'all know what going monk mode is? Huh? No, semen retention is different. Some people who do semen retention, they still have sex, but they don't ejaculate. Or don't have. Monk mode is no women at all. I'm good.
They don't speak either.
No, but in the manosphere world, going monk mode is no monkey. Now you got some people who went monk mode, but that was not by choice. That was by force. You know what I'm talking about? See, he's how he got on that certified shooter. See, he done shot a couple clubs. That boy ain't shot up no club. No. Ain't no woman like this here, boy. You better put that on the ground. Let's say she ain't shooting no clubs up in here. I don't want that seed. Put that pistol down. Let me leave that boy alone. But verse 2. He said, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. So we've established all of the stuff that what we done went through, what that is. And kiss with that word. Your love is better than wine. Listen what he says, the savor of your good ointment, your name is as ointment poured forth. Let's look at this word for ointment. If I'm not mistaken, it's the same word as it is for oil, which is shaman. So when you look at that, that's easy. Savor is rayak, which is scent, fragrance, odor, or aroma. You already know that he gave a sweet smelling savor. That's what it said in Ephesians 5 and 1. But that ruach hakadash that is supposed to give off a scent or a fragrance. Let's get that Ephesians 5 and 1 real quick for the point that I'm trying to make. Ephesians 5 and 1. Be you therefore followers of Elohim as dear children, walk in love. So this is a key point. You already see that as love's better than wine. You taking those kisses, you're gonna have to walk in the love of Elohim. As Mashiach also have loved us and given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet smelling savor. So in order to get this ointment, because he said your good ointments, your name is as ointment poured forth, you're going to have to offer yourself. You can't get the ointment or the Ruach HaKodesh without offering yourself. And then it says, therefore, do the virgins love you? Now, we talked about that virgins last week. But when we look at virgins again, I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Of course, you know the word for virgins is alma. And that's ayin, lamad, meme, and hey. So you can behold that this woman knows and has been taught of the Ruach, because Alma is also a woman of marriageable age, or a virgin, or a young woman, but also a newly married woman. So when you look at it, he says he has espoused you as a chaste virgin. You are a newly married woman. Which goes back to the new wine, or the ripe wine. So, of course, the newly married women, or the pure women, they're going to love her because you've been washed with water. You know what I'm saying? So you can be without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. Job tells you about not being without spot, wrinkle, and blemish also. Verse 4, draw me and we will run after you. The king have brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in you when we remember your love more than wine. The upright love you. Now remember, Yahushua said the Ruach HaKodesh will do what? Bring to remembrance everything that he said unto you. Then you have the draw part. What does he say? No man can come unto me except the Father do what? Drawing. So they're asking to be drawn. Now that's Mashah. That is to draw, to drag, to seize. Now these are the things when you look at what's here in Songs of Solomon, that gives you an inkling on the type of things that you should petition this man for. Do you ask him to draw you near unto him? Do you seek to be united in kisses with him, that you can give back the right answer or return the right word in return? Because this is what they're asking for. Say, if you draw me, I will come after you. And the king have brought me into his chambers. They say, but also he said, we remember your love more than wine. The upright love you. That goes back to those good figs and those evil figs, because the evil figs did not love him. Let's continue. I am black but comely, O you daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun have looked upon me. Listen what it said. My mother's sons were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept. Now look at what it says, right? We were going to talk about this plenty times over the years. Whose mother's sons were angry with him? What should come to mind for you? Joseph should come to mind first and foremost. And then, of course, who's the mother? Jerusalem. The scribes and the Pharisees, they were angry with Yahusha. Why were they angry with Joseph? Because of the word that he spoke. Those dreams that he spoke those prophecies. Why were they mad at Yahusha? For the word that he spoke. And what is the key component in both of those words that both of them men spoke that pissed everybody off? That they would bow down and serve him. Now, listen what he said. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. He said, but his own vineyard he have not kept. Do y'all know what that means when he said his own vineyard he had not kept? It is in the book of John. Because remember, right, we just read, he said he has a vineyard, and he set keepers over that vineyard in chapter 8. Did we not read that? So let's take a look at that in John, if you're not aware. John chapter 4. John chapter 4, verse 34. Yahushua said, the name of my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. Say not you, there are yet 4 months, then come harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white, all ready to harvest. He that reap receive wages, and gather fruit unto life eternal, that both he and he that sow and he that reap may rejoice together. Herein is the saying true, one sow and another reap. I sent you to reap whereupon you bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and you entered into their labor. So when you look at it, Yahushua's not maintaining that vineyard. He sent men to labor into that vineyard. He sent those apostles, those prophets, those pastors, those teachers to labor in that vineyard. Because he said, I got a vineyard, but my own vineyard I have not maintained. Also, you can look at him not maintaining that in regards to his cast you amongst the heathen and left you to wither. But let's continue. Verse 7 is what we came over here for. They tell me, O you whom my soul love, where you feed, where you make your flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turn aside by the flock of your companions? When we look at turn aside, it is a tie. And that is someone who is covered or wrapped themselves or enveloped or mourns or one who covers. So it's stated, so why should I be as one that mourns by the flock of your companions? Tell me where you feed. Where do you make your flock to rest at? Why should I be mourning with the flock of your companions? Now remember, right, we looked at Songs of Solomon chapter 8, and what did it discuss? Oh, you that dwell in the gardens with your companions who hearken unto you, cause me to hear that voice. This person is asking, where do your flock rest at? I am sad because I am separated from it. So when you look at that in that regard, that's the apostles and all them walking their communications are sad. The women that were sad because they were looking for where he rested at. Because when they got to where he rested at, where was he? He had departed. He was no longer there. And again, companions is in the verse that you mentioned in Psalms 119. Because that's the Hebrew word that's used there, that I'm a companion of all those that fear you. Or you're a ka. You have fellowship. You have oneness. If you have one for Elohim, you're going to be sad if he departs from your presence. See, a lot of people don't care if Yahuwah is not in their life. If you don't have Yahuwah in your life, you have no life. You're just an individual waiting to die. Twice. Not just to hit the grave, because then he's going to wake you up and he's going to kill you again. But that death will never stop. You will be tormented with fire and worms, all because you had no love for the truth. That didn't do anything for you because you wanted to direct and control your own life. See, like I mentioned Russell Wilson earlier, his greatest fear is to lose a woman when an individual's greatest fear should be to lose their God. Because see, they think they godly people. At least that's what they put in the public. You know what I'm saying? Because in that article, they quote James, count it all trials and joy. But you talking about football games and music, baby. That's not what that man talking about. You know what I'm saying? See, people like to take things of the word and apply them to things that this man's not even talking about. Because when he talking about tribulations, count it all joy for the testing of your faith, this is really talking about things that you will encounter to cause you to hold fast to the word. You having a bad day at your job shouldn't cause you to fall off from the word. Because you lost a playoff game against the Rams, now you don't want to serve God no more. That don't make no sense. But let's hit this Isaiah chapter 4 for that. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. Shall take hold is kazak. That is the literal word for to be courageous, to be firm, to prevail, or to be strong, to strengthen, or again to prevail. So it says, in that day, 7 women shall prevail of one man. So 7 women are going to be able to have strength, or what's the word we're looking for? Victory, because of one man. They say we will eat our own bread, wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. Now, y'all know reproach is kurpa, and that is a reproach, a shame, a disgrace, or a scorn. So, who doesn't know what this verse means? Because I know it's people in here who go, oh, I thought you would know, baby. How come you don't know that? Because I ain't never said it before. So that's a good answer, but the wrong answer. Not for real. Shada, you know what that verse is? You look like absolutely not. You just look like you just want to go take your old music video. How you got that hat sitting on your head? Can you sing? Barely. Oh, so you lying? You probably can sing a lot. Because that hat says you sing neo soul songs on the weekend and smoke the club with jazz music. No, not that good. Who don't know what this means? Besides, oh, I know you don't. Monica, you know what it means? But yeah, you ain't say nothing. What, you cold, boy? Boy, ain't no AC on in here, boy. That nigga said he got the AC on. Ain't damn piece of air coming out of it. Yeah, it's a little nippy outside. Shoot, I thought that nigga would be good. Good, he got plenty first. Nah, y'all just don't be knowing. He be trying to rank. See, Cornell asked me about it. She said, why you ranking on it so much? I said, boy, about 2015, 16. And then my boy, I fire you up, boy. I said, come on, cuz. I ain't trying to go there with you, man. He hadn't even moved here yet. Trying to rank on the phone. I'm like, boy, I'm trying to let you live. Then when he got here in person, I fire you up. All right now. I don't know how they rank in Dallas, Texas, boy, but this Duval County, boy, we relentless. We is relentless. We don't stop. We don't be like, oh, I got some dope. I'm going to stop. Oh, no, every time I see you. You know that C-Ray catch it every time, everywhere he go. But you know why C-Ray catch it? Because C-Ray think he can rank. And he got better jokes. C-Ray hit more winners than he. Because C-Ray can get a nigga up off. You know what I'm talking about? Brandon can't get a nigga up off. C-Ray go like this. Pop, pop. You can get up off me. I might be ugly, nigga. I get you up off me, though. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. You done seen C-Ray before, ain't? That's ugly nigga. Oh, no, not like, you can't get nobody up off. Your jokes ain't swift enough. Your wit ain't quick enough. Yeah, I'm talking about your jokes ain't good enough. I say, I don't know what y'all doing down there, but Duval County, all sides of town, niggas is relentless. They not stopping. And it ain't gonna be like, oh, I killed them on Tuesday. I ain't gonna rank on them on Wednesday. You getting clown on Wednesday. As soon as you come around the corner, look at this ugly nigga right here. It's going down. Especially if you sparked it when a nigga was telling you, oh, bro, I don't want to rank with you. Monte no, I ain't lying. When nigga say, bro, I don't want to rank on you, bro, you got it. And you said it, whatever, nigga, I'll kill you, nigga. Don't you get what you wanted? But see, you thought it was going to be a one-time thing. But we don't do that in Duval County. Every time I see jokes coming from out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. That nigga gonna get ranked as long as I'm alive. Well, I'm ranking on that nigga every time I see him. At least 2 to 3 joke minimum. At least. You know what I'm talking about? He asked for it. Shoot, who am I to deny a man what he desires? You know what I'm talking about? You desire to be clowning you shall get. Shoot, yeah, hell, he can play. He gonna pause and give him another joke. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, nigga. But nah, who can tell me who those 7 women are? Brother Francis and Dapton already put that up. Who can? Oh, not the nations. That's what the seven churches in Asia. But there's another instance of that with Samson. It's an instance of that in the book of Jeremiah. Let me check if it's Jeremiah chapter 6. Let me get to Jeremiah because this other instance of that is Exodus. That's what I was on tip of my tongue. Look at Exodus. I give y'all something extra because you know that's my man's man. That's my nigga. So shoot, I say he needed that. He needed that work. So we go ahead and bring it back to your memory. Make sure I'm in the right place with this. I cannot remember. But we could go to the book of Exodus. What are they? Chapter 2, I think. Yeah, I think it's about 2 or 3. But I know it's one in chapter 6 or 7. And there's Jeremiah. 16. Come over here to the book of Exodus, though. No, I didn't tell you, man. I said I was amazing. You cold. You know, you got a lot of fur and blubber to get you through the winter. Absolutely not. You not cold. This nigga 385 and a quarter pounds. Talking about he cold. Exodus 2:16. I'm cold. That nigga gonna be cold in that room. That nigga gonna start a forest fire. That nigga be in there using sandpaper. That nigga say he like it when it's dry. He don't like it when it's moist. That nigga that wild boy. Exodus 2:16. Now the priest of Midian had how many daughters? 7 daughters. And they came and drew water and filled their troughs to water their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. So when you're looking at stood up, that's quam, that's rise. So Moses, him who was drawn out of water, came through with Yasha, which is to save or deliver, to give victory to. And it says that take hold means to kazat, which is to prevail, which is to give victory to. Who is he that has victory? Who is he that have overcome the world? But he that believe that Yahusha is the son of Elohim. This is the victory, even our faith. And of course, water in the flock. Who that is? That Eugene over there? Oh, that's you? Come on, man. You got your mafia man jacket on. You ain't supposed to be doing all that. So you know you capping. So you do that with your pops, because your pop, I don't know what he's, but you know I ain't with it. You know I ain't got no sympathy for that child, is it? Yeah, you know it. Get yourself together. When we looking at water, that is shaka, and that is to give drink or to cause to drink water. I think we talked about this about a week or so ago. Come you to the waters and drink. Let's continue. And when they came to Roel, their father, they said, how is it that you are come so soon today? They said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, where is he? Why is it that you have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread. But they said, this Egyptian delivered him out of the hand. And this is Ish Natsal, or a man has delivered, rescued, or saved. Goes back to what we were talking about last night about him sending many saviors. So when you look at this here, right, these 7 churches or these 7 women are taking hold to this one man who has given them the ability to prevail. We're just looking at Exodus 2 because that is another witness. That's just not a Isaiah chapter 4 thing. But when you take away the reproach, who's the only person who can take away reproach, which is scorn, dishonor, and shame? You marrying 7 women cannot take. It's not a shame for a woman not to be married. It's culturally frowned upon. But that's not a disgrace. Because we know the reproaches of them that reproached you fell on me. What did Rebecca say to Jacob? Let that curse or that reproach be on me. That's what she said. I'll take that reproach. I'll take that sin. And what does Joseph's name equate to in the book of Genesis? Elohim has taken away my reproach. Or Elohim has taken this, and he says that sin is a reproach to any people. So there's only one person that can take away. You marrying a woman does not take away her reproach. Because if that woman is in sin, you can't take that reproach away from her. We've already know you get called by everything in heaven and earth is called by the name of Yahusha. So that 7 women is referring to Yahusha and them 7 houses. And them 7 houses had a lot going on in the book of Revelation except for one. And that was Philadelphia. All the rest of them had stuff going on. Philadelphia is the only house that he did not rebuke. Because the rest of them he rebuked. And you have to go read all that on your own time. But the house of Philadelphia, the synagogue, the church of Philadelphia, they did not get rebuked. Let's continue. It said, in that day shall the branch of Yahuwah be beautiful and esteemed, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Yasharal. Well, it still relates because it mentions that branch, which is Samak, which is a sprout. But what does he mean that it shall be beautiful, the fruit that is escaped? Well, of course, this is referring to, remember, he said he's the branch, which taking us to the vine. Escaped here in this particular word is palata, and that is deliverance or a escaped remnant or a group of people who have been saved. So when you're looking at this here, you're looking at the resurrection of the dead and also those who were delivered at Mashiach's coming. Verse 3 expands on that even more. It shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remain in Jerusalem shall be called Kadash, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. So if they're written among the living, what book is this? That is the Lamb's book of life. So what you're really seeing in Isaiah 4 is the end and the deliverance and the salvation of the people. Because he said everyone will be called set apart, which is what Zephaniah chapter 3 says, because they said they won't be doing no sin in that. Everyone that is in Jerusalem at that time, the branch of Yahuwah will be beautiful and glorious, because that branch is Yahusha. That beauty is the beauty that you didn't desire in him in Isaiah 53, meaning you didn't honor and esteem him. So therefore, all the fruit of the earth, what is the fruit of the earth? Your dead men will live with my dead body, and it shall be excellent and complete for those who are delivered or are the remnant of Yasharal, and then it will come to pass, everyone that is in Jerusalem will be set apart, whose name is in the book. And we know if your name ain't in the book, you're not dwelling. Because we know Exodus 32 tells us what? If you commit sin, he said, I will blot you out of my book. We know that the great Prince Michael stand up for the sons of your people, and he shall deliver every one of them whose name is written in the book. We know that everybody on the earth is going to do what? Wander and worship the beast whose names are not written in the book. Verse 4. When the Lord shall have washed away all the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall purge the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof with the ruach of judgment and the ruach of burning. And how is he returning? With fire. And he said he's coming to judge and make war. Then he comes around and tells you in verse 5, Yahuwah will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies. Boom. Now you got assemblies. Now you have on the back end what verse 1 is referring you to. Let's look at assemblies. And that word there is mikra, and this is a calling together, a convocation, or a sacred assembly. This ain't no regular assembly. If it's a convocation, then you know it's going to be a what? A Kadash convocation. If it's a Kadash or sacred assembly, then what is this referring to? A feast day. And what feast day would it be pointing you to? Based off what is occurring? Ingathering, tabernacles. And say, Yahuwah will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, upon her assemblies, a cloud and a smoke by day, and a shining flame of a flame of fire by night. For upon all their schemes shall be a defense, and there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and a place of refuge for a covert from storm and from rain. Which, of course, he's telling you what he did when you were in the wilderness. He's going to do it again. And what did we read Ezekiel 38 last week? That those people will be at rest with a city with no what? No bars, no gates, no walls. City of lights, city of the dwelling place. I know a lot of, I remember when we first got into work, we said, yeah, we ain't gonna get you 7 women. I say, well, shoot, nigga, I'm good. But I can see why individual will read that most of the time, and that goes back to if you're not skilledly trained in the word, you're going to see that, and I can understand why you would think that that's going to mean that you're going to get you 7 women. Because see, they'll go to Isaiah 13 and tell you he'll make a man as precious as a wedge of gold of Ophir. And see, and that's their justification. You might as well get down with the polygyny train because you ain't going to have no man. But like I'm telling you, when I mentioned that before, I'm not telling you that that's what dudes with in the word. But in the world, oh, that's where they headed. And you should know that's where they headed, because you should know that the word will return to what location as far as conduct is concerned. Or Sodom and Gomorrah. Because they committed all manner of sexual impropriety and immorality in that place. So you should be prepared for that. You seeing trannies all across the world should be no shock. That's why I put that story in the chat about that a woman gave birth to a child and they put her as the father on the birth certificate. That's crazy. But that's the world you live in. And it's only going to get worse. Now, the last thing that most people are prepared for them to do openly is the one thing that we hope that they never do. And that is openly promote pedophilia. Because these people are into pederasty. They believe in it, they trust in it, they practice it. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to do it in the open, especially when they openly begin to serve pan in your face. You know what I'm talking about? If people are into that, doesn't matter if you don't believe that they are into it. It doesn't change the fact that all these missing children ain't just getting kidnapped by no random people. These people kidnap little kids and they have their way with them for their sexual rituals, for the gods that they serve, and all of that. See, in the ancient world, it was known that these people were into pedophilia. It wasn't frowned on. It was only really frowned on in one culture, and that was ours. You know what I'm saying? Our culture was not with that. Yahuwah is not with you getting no 10-year-old boy and you taking his penis and having sex with him. I mentioned that because a young lady mentioned that. A lot of young boys get molested, and then you tell them that they had some type of sexual conquest because some grown woman had sex with a 10, 12, 13-year-old boy. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't no different than this grown man having sex with a 10, 12, 9, 8-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? It is no difference, and it mentally scars the little boy just like it mentally scars the young woman. See, most people have the stereotype that, oh shoot, he got some coochie. He all right. But that 8-year-old boy don't know what to handle what just happened to him. Some grown woman come playing with his penis. Now he feeling tingling. And the same thing happened to him as it happens to a little girl. 2 things happen. They don't want to have sex or they become promiscuous. A lot of little boys out here you thinking be smashing chicks and they just doing it just to doing it. They doing that because they've been tampered with. And unfortunately, it's a lot of little boys been tampered with by men. And they wrecked them. And don't nobody like to have that conversation. You know what I'm talking about? You act like, see, that's the difference of the words. That what happened to boys, nobody don't care. But these are the people who gonna lead you. So they can't be damaged and then you expect them to lead. That is impossible to bring about. The little boys get touched on a lot. Little boys get abused a lot. Probably more than little girls. The reason why I say that is most of them are raised by mothers who hated their fathers, and the look at them reminds them of their fathers, and they take that wrath out on that little boy. You know what I'm saying? Then, of course, you have the double-edged sword. Whether it's a boy or a girl, you bringing random niggas in the house, they abusing them turn. You know what I'm saying? Or you got nasty family members and they abusing the turn. And black people don't like to talk about that because don't nobody want to deal with the fact that somebody been abusing your turn. You know what I'm saying? No, that junk ain't cool. That junk ain't cool. That's why you think niggas out here damaged for nothing. What I would tell you, BOA talking about, you got niggas who brag about how many women they have sex with. You bragging about giving your seed away. I gave my seed away to 100 women. That ain't nothing to be proud of, cuz. You could have literally inseminated 100 women. Out of them 100 women, how many of them will be low-hanging fruit? Because if you a regular dude, you didn't get top-notch quality women out of them 100. Out of them 100, you might have had 1 or 2. Rest of them things was mediocre scallywags. Because if you ain't got no money, you slept with a lot of women, you didn't sleep with top-notch quality women every single solitary time. You're lying to yourself. Because the older you get, the more a woman wants to give to. I literally heard a woman say, no, that's my homeboy told me yesterday. Woman told her, he told a woman, I want some butt. She said, oh, you got to take me out on a date. That nigga said he politely declined. He said, your vagina ain't worth it in the day. Straight up and down. And the thing was, what he was telling me was, he said he didn't like the girl anyway and really ain't want to sleep with her. I said, yeah, just don't fool. Because that ain't nothing good coming from that. But this is what's happening though. You know what I'm saying? These things, see, these are difficult conversations that black people don't like to have. Because I guarantee you, everybody in this room know one person who's been raped or molested. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down, male or female. This ain't even either or. You know what I'm talking about? That's one person too many. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know men and women who were molested as children. That is unfortunate. They got to live with that. These are 20 plus year old people. Well, they still ain't cope with that. A man asked me earlier have we ever talked about mental health? Because he asked, should somebody in the word go to a psychiatrist? You sure should. You sure should. Better go holler at him, especially if a nigga done touched on you. You need to go see somebody. You know what I'm talking about? You need to go see somebody immediately. That's not funny. That ain't no joke. Because somebody who's been in the word, a lot of these dudes in the word, they ain't gonna be able to tell you how to properly process that. You know what I'm talking about? They just gonna be like, pray to Yahuwah, you'll be okay. Yeah, you gotta pray to Yahuwah. You gotta seek his face. But come on, man, people need a little bit more than that, brother. Because you're going to have to actually help somebody walk them through the pain they feel. But niggas don't know because niggas don't care. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I'm sorry, I can remember in high school, chick looking at me telling me how she had been molested. I'm like, shoot, nigga, I'm only 15. I don't know what to tell you. All I can do is just listen to you. I don't have enough wisdom to help you do that. You know what I'm saying? Much less the first time a man told me he was molested by a man. I'm like, oh my word. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, shoot. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I couldn't even imagine. Now, that's a little difference now because I feel like with them B2K boys, them niggas, hey, so you supposed to whoop that nigga. But at the same time, I get that too, though. You've been around a man since you was 7, 8, 9 years old, and he's approaching you sexually, and he's been touching you since you was 9, 10 years old. You've been so accustomed to it that when you get 15, 16 years old, you don't see nothing wrong with it. But if he try to touch you at 16 for the first time, or you supposed to knock that nigga out. Because at that time, you know, well, don't play my booty hole, but we'll play him time. Because they say that's what that dude Jerry Sandusky was doing to all the people at Penn State. This man coming in there with the little boys while they taking a shower, but they can tell me let's play a game. But I knew at 7, 8 years old, I know a lot of things in life. But I know your white behind ain't supposed to be in here with me naked. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that was a while back. That's the Penn State dude. That's what made Joe Paterno retire. But he was around there touching all the little boys. All the little boys. But hallelujah for y'all who's trying to work, man. We get off out of here, man. Pick this up a little bit more on Wednesday. I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all in the house of Elohim. In the name of y'all, got a little lab. You might want to spread. You're gonna be able to smell the almonds in the left. I feel you, because I be nose blind all the time. I very rarely smell any fragrance that I have on. Man. But let's just sit back, weigh and consider. We'll probably revisit the kiss part a little bit more. You know, I think we're just on a trip because we're still dealing with Solomon, dissecting some of the things of Solomon and Songs of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, stuff like that. But still talking about that vine and that vineyard. But just know if you go, hey, I don't know what y'all got up and went to talking for as if this is some type of playroom. So all of you are extremely disrespectful. Sit your behinds down where you stand and be quiet. Boy, I said sit down, boy. What may I do for you, young sir? Because y'all done lost your mind. Yeah, he put her in the boot. She said she thought she was, what her name is? Mary Lou Rat. A gymnast from the 80s.
Yeah, you better off saying Simone Biles.
I don't know nothing about no Simone Biles. I ain't sure my age. I don't watch gymnastics. What question was that, Sean? Muffin man. Drop that question for me one more time. Muffin man. Let me see what's that. Oh yeah. You could look at it in that. Well, that new wine is more so for the people who want to be in the way. More so. What did you ask about that? Oh, I have to go back and look at that. I don't even know what you're talking about. But you who are willing though, we pick it up. I'm gonna have to text you, man. On Wednesday, man, to pick it back up and do it again. You who are willing to that time. Were you over there telling